Hello everyone, welcome to the What If Anime YouTube channel. Today, we're diving into an exciting new story that will take your imagination to the next level. Let's get started. What if Naruto had the weapon power of Assassin's Creed? We must do something of the baby, Danzo, an elder said. Danzo answered, we will steal the baby and replace it with a dead replica. And then he will become our greatest weapon. With your skills, Kaharu, Homura, we will be great. The woman, Kaharu asked, will this work? Sarutobi will not cooperate with this. Danzo gave a slow evil smile, leave that to me. The three conspirators departed quickly, but left one witness. An Anbu with an Inu mask whispered, the hell I will let you three to do this, I will make sure of it. Hokage's office Hiruzen Sarutobi sat his chair recalling the events concerning the hero, Minato Namikaze and his son, Naruto Uzumaki. Why didn't you let this old fool, Minato-kun, you should be here with your son, damn it. He thought to himself. Suddenly an Anbu burst into the room, Hokage-sama. The baby woke up and began to cry at the sudden noise. Sarutobi took him up and shook him slightly to cease his crying. Inu. What is the meaning of this? I just got Naruto to sleep. Inu bowed. Sorry, but I just overheard Danzo and your old teammates, the elders talking to make Naruto a weapon. Sarutobi cursed. Shit, if I condemn him now, the village would be in chaos since he is a hero in evacuating the villagers and fighting against the Kyuubi, but I can't leave Naruto here either. Inu answered, I got it. Hokage-sama, I have a favor from an old friend of mine. He happens to be in the Brotherhood. Sarutobi's eyes widened. The Brotherhood. The Assassins. Inu nodded. I gave him shelter once when he was on a mission. So he should be here to visit and I will send Naruto with him. His name is Altair. Altair. Now after I visit Kakashi, I will return to Masayoff. Too bad there is no one with potential to train in the assassin's way. The hardened man thought. Inu appeared in front of him and Altair turned to him. May I help you? Inu took off his mask. Altair, it is me, Kakashi. The silver-haired young man said. Altair began to say, greetings, Kakashi, it's good to. Kakashi said quickly, yeah, great, nice to see you again. Look, you know that favor you owe me. Altai. Nodded and held the bundle that Kakashi placed in his hands. That favor is coming now. I need you to take him with you. His life is in danger. Train him to be an assassin and bring him back in 12 years. And don't take his ring finger. It will just grow back. Altair said, how is that possible? Kakashi said, the reason why you see Konoha in such condition is because we were attacked by a demon named Kyuubi. My sensei sealed it into that baby to protect the village. His name is Naruto Uzumaki, son of my sensei, Minato Namikaze. Altair nodded. I will honor your wish, Kakashi, and bring him back. Konoha 12 years later. Two hooded figures walked up to the gates. This is Konoha, Taka. Taka nodded at his idol. Wow, brother Altair, it's much bigger than I imagined. Altair looked at his pupil. Now Taka. You can choose to reveal your true name if you want to. Remember, if Konoha does anything to make you unhappy, you will always be welcome in the Brotherhood and keep to the Assassin's Creed. Taka said, as you wish. Brother Altair. Altair moved into the shadows, leaving Taka alone. I pray no angers you. Brother, it would be unwise for them to anger my pupil. Be safe, Naruto. Altair thought as he made his way back to Masayoff. Taka made his way to the Hokage's office. The secretary looked up. Yes, may I help you? Taka spoke. I would like to see the Hokage. Tell him that the maelstrom has returned. The secretary eyed Taka and relayed the message. After a few minutes, the secretary said, the Hokage will see you now. Hokage's office. The Hokage waited until Taka came into the room. Anbu, leave us, the Sandaime ordered. The four Anbu moved from their positions and excused them. Then the Hokage made a privacy jutsu. Taka said, so you're Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Sandaime Hokage and the alias of God of Shinobi and the professor. Thank you for sparing my life. The Sandaime shook his head. You're welcome, but you should thank the person who notified me. His name is... Taka interrupted in monotone. Kakashi Hatake, I know. Brother Altair told me of his bravery. He was demoted to Jonin because of that, correct? Sarutobi confirmed it with a nod. Indeed you are. Now are you going to refer yourself as Uzumaki Naruto or Taka? Taka said, I will reveal myself as soon as I gain and receive trust from my peers. The Sandaime said, all right, Taka, your apartment is in the southern district. Here are the directions and your key, but before that, I will have someone to escort you with the tour. Anko, suddenly a purple-haired woman with only a fishnet bodysuit and a beige trenchcoat walked inside. She was currently eating some dango as she said, yo, what's it that you need, Jii-sama? The Sandaime dismissed the comment and said, this is Taka, he's new here and need a tour guide. Don't try anything with him, he could kill. Anko didn't listen as she began to whip out a kunai. The hooded boy moved quickly, pinning the Tokubetsu Jonin to the wall. Her arms held with one hand and the another one near her jugular vein, his hidden blade unsheathed. You seem to have a lot of spunk, Anko-san. You would have been good in the Brotherhood, Taka said, slipping his hidden blade and letting her go. I can tell that we are going to be great friends. Anko smiled. Oh, we are so gonna be great friends. Let's go. Taka and Anko left as soon as possible, leaving Sandaime to think. What the fuck did just happen? Taka and Anko, the two fast friends, toured all over Konoha. Taka took a liking to ramen at Ichiraku, meeting Ayame and her father. Chuki and Anko's all-time favorite food dango. Okay, the last stop will be at the academy, so you can see your classmates and people you may work with in the near future. Anko said, as the two walked down to the academy. Taka noticed the glares sent at Anko and whispers of, traitor, or, snake whore. The assassin made a mental note to find out more about Anko and pay a visit to the disrespectful villagers. Taka glanced at Anko. Her face was impassive, but her eyes told everything he needed to know. Taka's jaw clenched and his fist closed tightly. Anko-san, can we stop for a while please? I will be right back. Anko nodded and watched as Taka went to the group and motioned them to the alleyway out of Anko's eye view. Suddenly a bunch of moans, cracks, groans, and girly screams filled the alleyway and Taka came out unscathed, but due to body language, you could tell he was somewhat relieved. What did you do? Anko asked. Taka replied, let's just say those guys know what happens when you judge a book by its cover. With the statement, Taka moved without hesitation as Anko realized that he did it for her. A lone tear slipped down her face as she silently thanked him. At the same time, the hospital received 20 patients equipped with broken bones and none of them could not even remember who did this. Academy Iruka lectured the class as Anko and a hooded mysterious figure walked in. Iruka greeted the snake mistress. Hello, Anko. What brings you here at the academy? Anko said, I am here to escort Taka to this class. He will be graduating along with this year's class and has been trained in the academy jutsus. Quote, Iruka and Anko sweat dropped as they both thought, antisocial, great, another Uchiha without the angst and emo looks though. Anko said, well then I just excuse myself. Taka stopped her for a moment. Hey, Anko, if it's not too much trouble, would you honor me in a little get-together? I would really like to get to know you a bit better. Most of the GUYS gasped at Taka's statement since they all tried to ask Anko and usually were scared of her sadistic nature and snake summons, but their jaws dropped as Anko smiled and answered, why not? Maybe it might be fun. Then the woman sauntered out of the room. Taka smirked and thought, that woman is interesting. Then he went to sit by a Hyuga named Hinata and a noisy Inazaka named Kiba petting his puppy Akamaru. Kiba whispered, how the hell you do that? Most of the boys including me were scarred for life or chased by snakes. Taka smirked. It takes the right words and actions to get to a woman's heart. Ask your Ka-san about it. Kiba nodded while Taka leaned towards Hinata and whispered, besides everyone wears some kind of mask, right, Hinata? Hinata's eyes widened. What are you talking about, Taka-kun? Taka smiled. You know what I am talking about. You're good. Better than Anko-san, but your eyes gave it away. Hinata said, her eyes hardening a bit, who are you? Taka replied, someone who didn't fit in. Someone who once wore a mask, but learned not to care about words, but actions and cast off his mask. Hinata smirked. Congrats, you are the first person to ever see past my mask. You are truly good. Maybe we should get to know each other. How about tomorrow at 7 p.m. in front of the Hyuga estate? Taka smirked. I take you up on that offer." Hinata nodded and donned back on her mask. Inwardly smirked. My, this Taka character is interesting. I can't wait to see him in action. Taka thought. I wonder if they are worthy of my trust. I will have to observe some of them by using Kage Bunshin. You didn't think I would make Naruto without his signature move, right? After Iruka dismissed the class, Taka made 30 Kage Bunshin and had them follow each classmate. Then made his way to his apartment to change. Sasuke the clone saw that the Uchiha was very arrogant and power-hungry, but showed promise. The clone deduced that the Uchiha had a terrifying past and emotionally unstable. The clone thought, he looks like the type to betray friends in an instant for power and believes that he is the shit. Reminds me of Altair when he was arrogant. E-clone made a hand sign and dispelled itself. Sakura, as I thought all brains and no brawn, and to make it even worse, a Fandro. Hell, she doesn't even train her butt off. Somebody got to set her straight. The clone thought. Ino the clone sighed. Another one. Damn it, but at least she trains a little and she seems to work in a flower shop. Nice, I might get some discounts if I am friends with her. Choji, damn, you can never see this boy without a bag of food or something. He may not look like it, but he's strong, loyal and probably insecure of his weight, so calling him fat is a taboo. Shikamaru, clever little bastard, he managed to find me. He is lazy, but smart, he may be a strategist. Finally someone I can test my mind against. Also he can use his own shadow to capture people with theirs, interesting fellow. Quote, Hinata, must resist, urge to, assassinate, degrading bastard. Even though she is keeping up the mask, it is still wrong to do that. Her cousin, Neji, I think, is an asshole and has some kind of grudge. Her father belittles her or her mask for that matter, and her sister is a mix of Hinata's mask and her father. If I can convince Hinata to remove her mask, then they might change. Hiba, I think I lost hearing in both my ears, this place is noisy. Like a dog, loyal, loud and thinks with his hormones, but he actually asked that question. I hope he gets a lady for his sensei to teach him etiquette. Oh shit. Dogs, damn. Shino, cool, stoic, quiet, typical, he is an Aburame. I better move, that female beetle is too close to me. Enko's house Naruto, drive, est in black pants with a golden sash to match his hair. He wore black boots, each with a knife inside the boot and wore a blank Anbu mask that Sarutobi gave him earlier. Taka knocked on the door and heard someone rushing down the steps. The door opened to reveal Enko in a strapless dark purple dress with black heels. Taka spoke one word and one word only. Damn, Enko smirked, as much as I like you staring at me. But we have a date to catch. Taka stepped, undressing her and offered up the crook of his arm. Enko took it and they walked down the courtyard. I can't let my guard down. He probably did that to gain my trust for something else, but I will indulge him to see his intentions. The snake charmer thought to herself. Restaurant. As they entered the restaurant, the waiter, without looking up, said, Welcome. Sir or madam, may I help you? Taka said, Table for two, please. The waiter looked up and when his eyes fell upon Enko, I'm sorry, sir, but may I ask why is this whore here? Enko was about to give the waiter a piece of her mind until Taka put a hand in front of her. Excuse me, sir. Taka said, his voice dripping with venom, but what whore are you talking about? I see a beautiful, sophisticated young woman next to me. Now, get me your manager quickly before I lose my patience. Enko thought, he is just doing that to gain trust, but why do I feel relieved and happy that he said that? The waiter moved quickly to get the manager and returned with a 30-year-old brunette. Machiko's eyes narrowed on the waiter. I see, sir, thank you for reporting this outrage. Ichiro, you're fired. Ichiro protested. Machiko-san, you can't do this. Machiko said, I believe I just did. Now remove yourself from my sight. The manager turned to the couple. I am terribly sorry for this. I will personally serve you and tonight's dinner is on the house. Taka said, thank you, Machiko Dono. Taka pushed Enko away, pulling off his sash and wrapped it around Ichiro's neck. His hand dropped a kitchen knife he recently acquired as he took his stuff. Taka literally dragged the choking Ichiro and opened the doors. Then he took off the sash from Ichiro's neck, which immediately fell on his hands and knees, gasping and wheezing for air. Taka sent chakra to his right leg and gave Ichiro's ass a chakra-infused kick, sending him flying in the air. Hot Springs. Ichiro, much to his misfortune, landed in the hot springs. Ichiro burst out of the water, slightly red because of the heated water. Then an eerie silence came on and Ichiro turned around to see that He landed in the middle of the latest section and most of them are kunoichi, including a certain red-eyed beauty. Ichiro's sweat dropped. Now, ladies, there is a perfect expla, the ladies shouted, pervert. Restaurant. Taka smirked as he heard Ichiro's girly screams. Damn, I must have kicked him into the hot springs. He turned to see the residents gaping at him. Well, since I have your attention, people, Taka said, I have to say that you people are worse than trash. Now I am a forgiving man, but if I hear any of you sons of bitches try to hurt Machiko-san or Anko-san, I collect your freaking head. Thank you and enjoy your dinner. Silence occurred as Taka and Anko were escorted to a table away from the spectators. Once they placed their orders, Anko whispered, Taka, you didn't have to do that for me. Taka looked up at her and replied, Anko, you are the first friend I ever had. In the Brotherhood, the only relationship that I had was a partnership. After 12 years of that, do you think I wouldn't be attached to you? You were not afraid to attack me regardless of my prowess in assassination. That made me happy and you became my first friend and I'm obliged to defend my friends from such people. Anko thought, is he actually being real to me? Taka said, I know you don't trust me because your eyes give away everything. You have been hurt by someone close to you, and now shunned by that person's actions. Right. Anko nodded her head silently and then Taka continued, look, you can trust me, Anko. I promise, and I never break a promise to anyone. Anko gave him a genuine smile and touched his hand. Thank you, Taka. You are the second person besides Kur-chan to say that to me. Anko could not see it, but felt Taka smiling. Glad I could be, and I would like to meet this Kur-chan of yours sometime. Just then Machiko returned. Okay, here is your sake for the both of you, the pork curry and rice for the gentleman and the chicken tempura for the lady. Enjoy. The two ate while they talked of various things, interrogation, travels, and favorite things to do. Taka talked about his brother and mentor Altair and their jobs. So, Anko, tell me, why are you hated so much? Is it because of that Sanin? Taka said. Anko shifted uncomfortably as she whispered angrily, how do you know about that? Taka said casually, I took the time to look up your file after I was dismissed from the academy. I wanted to figure out why you had those looks, so I read the file and believe that these people are complete assholes, seeing as that person, and it's unfair to you. Also, I am sorry that I did that. The snake mistress sighed. Well, I was bound to tell you sometime or later in the future, so I might as well come out of the closet. Anko looked at him as he moved his hand to hold hers. I want to know you, Anko, the real you, because I was an outsider there. I hated it, and felt alone. I know how you feel, so you don't have to run and hide anymore. Anko's amethyst eyes welled in tears, but they were brushed quickly by Taka. Come on, Anko-san, I hate it when girls cry, it makes me wanna cry too. Anko replied, the baka. Soon they finished their meal and thanked Machiko before leaving. Taka escorted Anko to her house as he got to know the real Anko instead of the tough shell. I had a great time tonight, Taka-san. Taka answered, as did I, Anko-san, but before we depart, I will reveal my mask to you. After all, friends don't hide secrets from friends, right? Taka lifted his hand and removed his mask, causing Anko to gasp and blush slightly. Taka had a sharp jawline with his 3 whisker-like marks on his cheek, making his face have a feral look and piercing cerulean eyes. Taka said, my real name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I am trusting that you only see all that name in private until I reveal it to everybody. Anko nodded. I will, Naruto-kun. Naruto planted a kiss on the cheek. Good night, Anko-chan. Without a word, he put back on his mask and disappeared in the shadows. Anko held her cheek gingerly as she turned to open the door to find a rose hanging between the handle. She smiled. Uzumaki Naruto is a interesting young man, she thought as she walked inside, holding the rose to her head. Her roommate Kurenai looked at the snake heiress bewilderedly. She must have had a good time. I wonder who could make her feel like this. I will ask her tomorrow. Kurenai thought, but if he hurts her, whoever he is, will get a whole lot of pain from me. Gossip and vengeance. Hakurai Sega. I'm back and better than ever. Thanks to everyone that review or read my story. To Ultimate Zelda fan, damn straight Naruto is a charmer. Now things get more interesting. 5 weeks later, Kurenai Yuhi aka the Genjutsu Mistress and self-proclaimed Ice Queen was puzzled at Anko Mitarashi's new antics ever since that night. She was out more often and smiled a little bit more. Even her tough mask was easier to slip off than usual. That man, Taka, is getting me more curious by the second. It took me 2 months to get Anko-chan to slip off that mask of her. But he managed it in one day. Kurenai thought to herself as she walked in the courtyard. Then she spotted Anko at her favorite dango restaurant along with Kiba's older sister, Hana Inazaka, and the Neko Anbu Yugao Azuki. Kurenai decided to walk up and ask about Taka. Ohio, Anko-chan, Hana-chan, Yugao-chan. Anko smiled. Hey, Kur-chan. Kurenai said, you seem to be in a good mood. Anko nodded. Yep, interrogation with new methods I learned. Who would have thought sending low-level Raiden J. UTSU through pain nerve receptors could be so much fun? Yugao asked, that is an old method. Who taught you that? Kurenai answered for Anko. I can bet that it was that Taka person. Yugao raised an eyebrow. The assassin that she's been dating. Anko blushed and protested. We are not dating. He just beat the shit out of those assholes and then he asked me for an outing. Since he beat them, I just rewarded him with his request. Kurenai said in an amused tone. Anko, you came back with a rose held tight to your chest and held your cheek like there was something missing there. Anko shot back, her blush deepening. So, don't go over your head like you did with Aoi, alright? Hana said. Suddenly a voice whispered. Don't worry, ladies. Like Anko-chan said, we're just good friends. I'll not go past that stage unless she notifies me, of course. All but Anko jumped and turned around to see Taka leaning against the wall. How did you? Yugao stuttered. I'm not called an assassin for nothing, Yugao-san. I am fairly good at masking my chakra signature. Taka said in a matter-of-fact tone. He turned to Kurenai. You must be the famous Kur-chan that Anko speaks so highly of. It is an honor to meet you, miss. The Ice Queen's eyes narrowed. If you hurt her, then so help me Kami, I will hunt you down and castrate you. Taka said, Kurenai-san, I know that you are friends with Anko-chan. But I assure you that I will not hurt you like this Aoi character in any way. You're welcome to be included in our meetings if you want. Kurenai said, I still don't trust you at all. Taka replied, I know. But I will gain you trust somehow. Anko said, he is a good friend, Kur-chan, really. He saved me from this guy who tried to stab me. Taka held his chin. Yes, I wonder what did happen to him though. Oh, yeah, I remember kicking him with a chakra-infused kick. I think he landed in the hot springs and due to the girly screams, he landed in the ladies section. Hana, Yugao, and Kurenai shouted. That was you who did that. Taka nodded. Yeah, he tried to hurt her after getting fired for calling her a whore. Hana huffed. Now that I know that, I am glad that we kicked his ass hard now. Taka peered at the Inazaka. You look familiar, Hana-san. By any chance, are you related to a boy named Kiba? The girl answered, you know my little brother. Taka replied, yes. He was surprised that I asked Anko-chan for an outing in front of the class. He informed me that usually boys were attacked by snakes or cut by Anko. Yugao rounded on the snake mistress. And why didn't you tell us this, Anko? Anko said, I didn't want to worry you guys with my problems. Kurenai said, that is no excuse for keeping secrets from us. We're your friends and don't want to see you hurt. Anko was about to retort until Taka interrupted. Anko-chan, they are right. Though I admit that they are smothering you, friends don't keep secrets from friends, right? Anko bowed her head dejectedly. Hi. Hana laughed. Taka, did you know that my Ka-san squeezed him tight and started on this grand speech about showing his sensitive side? Taka shrugged. He asked how I got Anko to go out with me. So I told him to ask his mom about. I just gave him the path to understanding women, now he must walk it. Now if you excuse me, I must go and hone my skills. Yugao said, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be in class with the other academy students? Taka simply said, Kage Bunshin serves its uses in battle and in boring lectures. Enko gave him a toothy grin, you sneaky bastard. They couldn't see it due to the mask. But all of the women knew that he was grinning from ear to ear before he left for the training grounds. Academy Iruka said, all right, it is time for our tournament for this year's Rookie of the Year. Each student will put a strip of paper with a number as usual. Every student took a number from the box that Mizuki carried, and in a half hour, only the rookie ate, Taka and some kid named Hiro. All right, Baruka called out, next match will be Shikamaru Nara versus Shino Aburame. The combatants came into the ring. Shikamaru lazily said, I forfeit, this is too troublesome for me. Shino inwardly began to sulk for walking there for nothing. Winner, Aburame Shino. Next match will be Choji Akamichi versus Hiba Inazaka. Baruka called out. Choji handed his chips to Hi's friend Shikamaru, and Kiba gave Akamaru to Hinata to watch over. Hiba slipped into the Inazaka family stance while Choji slipped into the Akamichi. Fight, Baruka shouted. Hiba instantly shot out and swiped at Choji's torso, knocking him back and out of the ring. The dust cloud disappeared to reveal Choji sprawled out with swirls in his eyes. Winner, Inazaka Kiba. Baruka called out. Hey, too easy, Kiba said, wiping his nose with his thumb. Taka thought, his speed, power, and agility are in top form. I expect nothing less from an Inazaka, but his cockiness will destroy him if someone doesn't beat it out of him. Baruka said, next matchup is Sakura Haruno versus Hinata Hyuga. Sakura said, this should be easy, Hinata is too weak to hit anybody. Hinata walked past Taka and Taka whispered, Hinata, you need to drop that mask. That girl is going to get killed in the real world if she doesn't wake up from her fantasy world. Hinata nodded, trust me, I plan to. She has belittled me for the last time. The Kunoichis, well, Kunoichi and Pseudo Kunoichi stepped forward, facing each other. Hajime, Baruka shouted. Hinata slipped into her Juken stance while Sakura slipped into the academy stance. Then Sakura rushed in to attack the female Hyuga. To everyone's surprise, Hinata blocked her punch and sent sprawling with a sweep kick. Sakura got up, shocked that she was actually knocked to the ground. What the fuck just happened? When did Hinata get a backbone? It doesn't matter, I can't bear to lose in front of Sasuke-kun. The cherry blossom thought to herself. She charged again this time around. She unleashed a flurry of punches and kicks. Hinata made little effort to block or evade her wild strikes. She is quite desperate for the Uchiha's approval. This is hardly worth my time now. Time to end this with a little can of whoop ass. I am kind of tired of Hinata's meek attitude, so I gonna switch it up. Hinata proceeded to attack poor Sakura with a series of Juken strikes. Then she kicked her in her flat chest, and she uppercutted her into the air, leaving her to fall hard on the ground. Winner, Hyuga Hinata. Everyone parted to let her pass in silence. Next, Ino Yamanaka versus Amy Kumara. Ino and Amy shot glares, making lightning clash against each other as they both walked up into the arena. Fight, Baruka shouted. Most of the time it was mostly a catfight induced with slaps, hair pulling, and yelps. But eventually Ino knocked Amy out with a mean right hook. That was odd of them, but Ino has a better chance of becoming a great kunoichi than Sakura though. The scarred Chunin shouted, okay, Sasuke Uchiha against Kazuma Homura. The Uchiha smirked as they both stepped forward. Fight, Baruka shouted. Sasuke speedily aimed a kick at Kazuma's ribs. But Kazuma dodged and threw a punch at Sasuke's head. The Uchiha saw it and moved steadily to perform a sweep kick. Kazuma backflips to avoid the move and runs to recklessly charge at him. Sasuke waited until the last second to plant an elbow into his chest, knocking Kazuma out. Winner, Uchiha Sasuke, Baruka said. Sasuke said, HMPH, naturally. His fangirls screamed at their heartthrob. TCH, show off. Just get the job done, damn it. Taka thought, now it is Taka versus Hiro, let's get started. Baruka shouted. Taka appeared in front of a frowning Hiro. What is your problem? Taka asked. You got my father fired and humiliated him in front of a third of the civilian population by kicking him in the hot springs. Hiro said with his fists clenched in anger. It is not my fault that your father is such a closet perv. Taka said, crossing his arms. Why you? Hiro said as he ran towards Taka. Taka waited until the last second to avoid Hiro's punch and tripped him with his left leg. Then pivoted on his right foot to turn to face Hiro. Look, I have no grudge against you, only your father for his actions. This is a waste of my time. Taka said, walking away from him. Hiro grunted, ha, because of that snake bitch you were going out with that day. He was right to insult her because that is all she is, a whore. Taka stopped walking and called out, Hinata, do I? Oh, you have that portable first aid kit on you. Hinata answered, yeah, why? Taka brought out his hands and began to crack his knuckles, because Hiro is going to be experiencing some excruciating pain now. Taka disappeared to appear in front of Hiro to place a punch into his gut. Hiro backed up dry heaving, but Taka sent a palm strike to his chin, then knocked him back down with a kick to the chest. Next, the assassin sent 2 quick punches to the head, then sent a haymaker to the jaw, breaking it. Taka didn't stop there with the plummeting. He flipped over Hiro and turned to aim a kick to the back of the head. Hiro fell down to the ground in a heap. The bleeding boy struggled to get up, but Taka didn't give him a chance to retaliate by kicking him high into the ground and sent him back down crashing to the floor, making the ground become a crater. Taka stepped on his arms and knees hard to break under the sudden pressure. Hiro screamed in pain and Taka said in contempt, tell your father, Ichiro, to never send a boy to do a man's job. Taka looked toward Iruka. Well, are you going to call the match? The sensei said, right, W winner is Taka. Hinata nodded and rushed to his minor injuries and Mizuki sent Amy and Sakura to carry Hiro to the hospital. Damn, remind me to never get you mad, Taka. Kiba said. Taka said, you can insult me, but if you insult my friends, you are bound to get vaporized. Mizuki said, we will take a 15-minute break and then resume the match. Taka moved along with Hinata, Kiba, and Shino to take shade under the tree, only to have Sasu K and his fandrels follow him towards the tree. May I help you, Broody-san? Taka asked. I don't care who you are, Taka, but I am not like Hiro. I am an Uchiha, an elite. Taka retorted, well, I am part of the Brotherhood, the elite among assassins. Unlike you, I don't care if you are an elite, then you are just the same as everyone else, just equipped with a copycat eye, which you have not unlocked at all. Sasuke bristled. You will fall to me. Taka retorted coolly, we shall see. Sasuke glared at him and he with his loyal fandrels went off somewhere. You are going to kick his ass, right? Kiba asked. Taka said, nah, I really don't feel like kicking Broody's ass for that. He is just intimidated for that display with Hiro. Shino said, a logical decision, Taka. Taka answered, thanks, Shino. I look forward to fighting each of you in the tournament. Hinata said, guys, they are calling us back. Kiba shouted, let's go and kick some ass. Tournament. Next. Hinata Hyuga vs. Shino Aburame. Will the contestants please come forward? Mizuki said, taking over for Iruka. Hinata and Shino came to face each other. May the best person win. Hinata said. Shino nodded as they slipped into their clan stances. Hinata and Shino charged at each other. Shino threw punch after punch, but Hinata used her flexibility to her advantage to dodge Shino's hits. Shino attempted a sweep kick only for Hinata to cartwheel to the side and hit Shino in the face with her palm. Shino stumbled back in order for Hinata to place hits on his chest and abdomen. Next, Hinata sent a frontal kick to the chest, knocking him back. Shino held up his hand. It appears that I need to work on my taijutsu. I have realized too much on my kikaiju and so I forfeit. Hinata smiled at him as she took his hand. You did well, Shino. Shino said, as did you, Hinata-san. Mizuki said, now next up is Kiba Inazaka vs. Sasuke Uchiha. Kiba rolled his arm. Hey, looks I get first dibs on beating the shit out of Uchiha then, huh? You are next, Taka. Quote, Taka smiled. I will be looking forward to it. Mizuki said, contestants, ready. Fight. Kiba ran at Sasuke with blinding speed, but Sasuke anticipated the move and dodged to the side. The dog boy is fast, but like any other dog, he must be put in its place like a whipped puppy. Sasuke thought. Sasuke moved in a zigzag pattern to confuse Kiba and was able to pull off a punch to Kiba's face. HMPH, you might as well give up. You can't win against the elite, especially a whipped dog like you. Kiba growled, why you? Taka thought sagely, bad move, Kiba. If you get angry, you will lose this match. Kiba thought, calm down, Kiba, calm down. He is trying to make you mad. Kiba smirked. Huh, your trick will not work on me, asshole. Kiba attacked, Sasuke utilizing his speed and got a few hits on the Uchiha. The Uchiha in turn got enraged and vicious, making Kiba slightly on the defensive. That is until Sasuke aimed a hit and cracked Kiba's leg, making the Inazaka get a beating. The fangirls were torn against cheering for Sasuke or screaming for him to stop, but the boys called for Mizuki to stop, but the Chunin looked as if he was enjoying Sasuke. This is cruel. Why isn't Mizuki calling the match? Taka muttered, that's it, I am stepping in. Taka grabbed Sasuke's arm and said, that's enough. Stop this madness. Sasuke glared at him and jerked his arm back, whatever. Quote, Taka turned to Mizuki, you are an asshole, Mizuki-sensei. Instead of watching the fight, you deliberately let the Uchiha do as he desired. Mizuki smiled, I didn't see anything, Taka-san. Winner. Uchiha Sasuke. Taka growled inwardly, he is gonna pay for this. He thought, next match is Taka versus Ino Yamanaka. Mizuki called out. Ino walked up in the ring as Taka nodded to Shino, who took Kiba to the infirmary. Fight. Mizuki shouted. Taka moved quickly and knocked Ino out quickly. Call the match, Mizuki-sensei. Mizuki inwardly scowled. Winner, Taka. Now we will draw to see who will be fighting and to see who will be exempted until the next fight. You have your numbers. Taka, Sasuke, and Hinata nodded as Mizuki rolled a raffle wheel until a number popped out, number 3. Taka looked at his paper that had the kanji for free. That is me, Taka replied in monotone. Then the match is between Hinata Hyuga versus Sasuke Uchiha. The white-haired shinobi said. Hinata clenched her fist. I will defeat him for you, Kiba. Taka thought as he walked past Hinata, be careful, Hinata-chan. Mizuki said, fight. Hinata sprang forward and hit Sasuke in the stomach, then sent a palm strike to his chin, making Sasuke slid back. The fangirls screamed out for Sasuke as he got up and moved against Hinata. Hinata and Sasuke fought furiously, neither of them gaining the upper hand in the battle. Each of the two stepped back, panting hard in exertion. Now I will destroy you, Sasuke shouted. Hinata stood still until the last second and kicked him hard in the chest. Sasuke clutched his stomach, but he recovered in a second as he did a cheap shot. He launched his attack on Hinata's chest, making her scream out in pain. Then Sasuke threw her out of the ring, instantly disqualifying her. Cheap shot. If he were an assassin, he would be killed, but he is not. Mizuki smiled. Winner. Sasuke Uchiha. Now Taka, come up. Taka walked up, after he sent Hinata along with Shino to the infirmary for her injuries. Let's go, Sasuke, the assassin said simply. Sasuke said, you will not beat me. Taka replied, then let's raise the stakes a little higher. If I win, then you must apologize to Hinata and Kiba formally in front of their families. If you refuse to do so, then I will tie you with your own clothes, leaving you only in your boxers and lock you into a windowless room with your fangirls. Sasuke shuddered at the thought, and his fangirls secretly hoped that their crush loses the match and refuses Taka's demands. Fine. If I win, you will teach me everything you know, and if you refuse to do so, you will show your face and reveal your true identity. Taka tensed. Agreed, we will sign this agreement in blood. Taka took Uda knife and cut his palm while Sasuke did the same and clasped Taka's hand. Now without further ado, fight, Mizuki shouted. The boys sprang back and then leapt forward at each other. Sasuke sent punch after punch at Taka, but Taka, heavily trained for speed and stealth, avoided each blow much to Sasuke's displeasure. Sasuke dealt Taka a roundhouse punch, but Taka simply grabbed his arm and threw him on the floor. Taka let go of his arm and moved backwards, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Sasuke growled and ran at Taka, but Taka jumped and kicked the back of Sasuke's head, using it as a springboard. Next, Taka sped toward Sasuke and sent a hook to Sasuke's stomach, lifting the Uchiha up, and then Taka leapt up and dealt Sasuke a heavy roundhouse kick, launching poor little Sasuke out of the ring. W winner. T Taka. Mizuki stuttered. Taka said, "Remember your promise, Sasuke, or you will face your lust fury of your fandrels. Plus I have heard that the Uchiha clan never breaks a promise sealed in blood." Sasuke gritted his teeth. Damn him, he thought. Sasuke charged at Taka's back, but Taka turned and grabbed his fist. "Look, it is no use to fight against me. Admit it, you lost, and if you want to beat me, lose your hatred. It will not be able to get me on my knees." Then Taka walked off, leaving seeing that class was over. Graduation and traitors. Normal, thought. Hakurai-sega, I'm finally updated and I see that my stories are being received very well, especially my Blade and DMC crossovers. Keep on reviewing. In turn, the following days went as followed. Sasuke, trapped in his sense of Uchiha honor, followed the code. His feelings mixed with the fear of his rabid fangirl and honor somehow overpowered his arrogant nature. Sasuke felt humiliated as Taka observed him bowing and apologizing to the Inazaka and Hyuga families, which made Taka gain favor with the Hyugas and Inazakas for restoring their honor. After that, the Uchiha seemed to have a personal vendetta, but his fangirls, due to Taka's effect of trying to help them out, were a bit less bitchy of Taka kicking their precious Uchiha's ass. Mizuki was punished and put on probation due to his lenient side of Sasuke's brutality toward Hinata and Kiba. Honestly, the Chunin would be punished for hurting two heirs from powerful clans. The asshole was sentenced to do D-rank missions for 5 months, in turn. Made Mizuki turn his wrath on Taka by making him do hard questions, putting genjutsu on his tests, etc. Taka eventually found friendship in the most laziest boy, Shikamaru Nara, who was secretly a genius at strategy and tact, and the chubby Choji Akamichi, who was loyal to friends and considerate of others, along with Shino Aburame. Taka began to open up more and more with his 5 furry NDS, and soon an attachment appeared with them. Time skip graduation day. Iruka said, "Now today is your graduation exam. When your name is called, please proceed to the testing area. The requirement is the Bunshin no Jutsu." Taka thought, GCH, this test is not even a challenge. Why couldn't they make this requirement the tree walking exercise? One by one, each genin was called, and each genin came out with a gleaming headband, including his friends. Taka, Baruka called out. The hooded assassin walked silently into the room to meet a serious Iruka and a slightly frowning Mizuki. "Baruka-sensei, Mizuki," Taka addressed. "Please perform the jutsu," Baruka said, not noticing Mizuki's small growl. Taka performed a half-ram seal, Bunshin no Jutsu. 5 clones appeared beside him in perfect condition. "Congratulations, you pass. Taka, come and collect your headband." Taka turned. "Keep it, sensei. My clothes are being sewn with the insignia as we speak, but thanks for the offer though." As the hooded man walked out, he noticed a growing smirk crept up on Mizuki's face. "It looks like I am going to be up a little later tonight. Mizuki is giving me that eerie feeling." Suddenly his friends ran up to him. "Hey, Taka," Shino inquired, "where is your headband? Did you pass?" Taka replied, "I pass, but I didn't want to wear the headband since I made a special order to sew the plates on my clothes." Shino nodded. "I see." Choji shouted, "Let's go to the barbecue restaurant to celebrate." Taka nodded, "Agreed, and you're paying." Everyone took off as Choji shouted in dismay, "Damn you, Taka." Restaurant. So Taka, when are you going to take that damn hood off and reveal yourself? Hiba asked curiously. Taka said, "Trust me, Hiba, I will, but I feel that there is some part of me is unknown. Something that if not controlled, will destroy me and you guys. Until I can figure out and discover that part of me, I will tell you guys my identity." Hiba was about to retort, but Shino came to Taka's defense. "Hiba, don't pressure him." The Inazaka sniffed. Yeah, I got it." Next, the king of all that is assholish in the world, Sasuke came in and strode up to Taka and his group, flanked by as usual his loyal less bitchy fandrels. "Fight me." Taka merely sipped his tea, Now Sasuke, you have to be specific, so may I ask to whom you are referring to fight with? Sasuke shouted, do not get smart with me. We both know who I am referring to. Taka set his cup aside, then you should know my answer by now. It's your least favorite word and has 2 little letters. Sasuke scowled, you are just scared that I will beat you. Taka said, you said that last week and the week before, plus why should I fight you if I know I can beat you? His fangirls yelled at Taka, just fight him already, Taka. The hooded assassin sighed, fine, damn it, just stop bitching. Taka walked behind Sasuke, grumbling about fangirls and a certain Uchiha. Training area Taka put his hands behind his back. Well, let's get this over with. Sasuke said, this time you will be defeated. The Uchiha ran at Taka with a barrage of punches, easily avoided by the assassin. Then Taka retaliated with a quick kick to the chest, followed up with an uppercut. As soon as Sasuke crashed to the floor, Taka whipped out one of his handcrafted knives on his garter and placed it dangerously close to Sasuke's jugular. Yield, Taka said in a bored tone. Everyone shrieked at Sasuke's 12th loss in a row except for Taka's friends. In less than 5 minutes, Taka had expertly executed only 3 moves and defeated Sasuke. Damn, he is good. I hope I get to spar with him one of these days. I wonder if he looks hot without that hood on. Hinata thought. Sasuke growled out, I yield. Taka flipped the knife back into its sheath. I told you already, hatred and anger will not help you. You will only lose focus in battle and defeat along with suffering will be placed in your path if should you continue. I will leave you with a question. What is the meaning of true power? Sasuke shouted, how the hell is that going to help me? Taka replied coolly, you have plenty of examples in your mouth, use it. Ask around, you will get it since you're smart. After all, you're an Uchiha, nay. Taka and his friends left an Uchiha emotionally confused about Taka's strength, his family's murderer's strength and his task to answering Taka's question. Soon everyone except Taka went home. The masked assassin felt an urge to roam and explore the forest. So far, I have many friends and some enemies. Kurenai-san, despite my efforts, still doesn't trust me at all. Mizuki hates my ass. Sasuke has been given 2 paths to follow and I am officially a genin. GCH, almost makes me wanna pull off a Shikamaru. Comment, Taka mused in thought. Nara Manor Shikamaru sneezed. GCH, someone's talking about me, troublesome, what a drag. Taka landed on a tree branch, but I miss brother a lot, I wonder when he is going to visit me. He thought as he looked at the stars. Suddenly movement caught Taka's eye. Large animals aren't even in these parts of the woods, must be a ninja. I'll check just to be sure. AKA thought as he jumped down and weaved through the woods silently. Mizuki, what is he doing here and with the forbidden scroll? Of course, I suspected something was up with that smirk of his. Taka deduced rationally. It seems that Mizuki is a bit power-hungry and to make himself stronger using that scroll, which is where Kakashi requested that I learned Cave Bunshin no Jutsu. Maida, well meet and greet like the charmer I am. He moved out in the open and shouted, Mizuki, I don't know what or how you got that scroll, but you best return it or Hokage-sama is going to be royally pissed off. Mizuki laughed, Taka, I was hoping you would be here, so I can snap your neck like a twig. Taka said in monotone, you were lenient in that tournament and you got what you deserved. Mizuki scowled, I am going to kill you and then, I will be the ultimate ruler. Taka retorted as he got into a fighting stance, I always wanted to match you. Mizuki show me what you got. Mizuki charged and flung 2 shuriken. Taka met it head on and the 2 shuriken missed him by inches. Taka planted a boot to the head, making Mizuki fall backwards and used his face as a trampoline. Smirked as he looked at the groveling Mizuki. The Chunin snarled, unclipping one of his giant shurikens and flung at him, screaming, you little shit. Taka rolled to one side to avoid the projectile, but looked up to see that it was a distraction and Mizuki took the time to approach him with a fist to the face. Taka was sent flying to the tree and next thing he knew, he felt sharp pains in his arms and legs courtesy of Mizuki's kunai and shuriken. Mizuki chuckled, now I will see your fucking face, so I can see the fear in your eyes. Mizuki grabbed Taka's hood and yanked it off to see his blonde hair and his piercing. stormy blue eyes. Mizuki gasped as he stumbled backwards. It's you. Why you are T the demon bee breath. En Naruto yu Uzumaki. T the K Kyuubi no K Kitsune. But you are supposed to be dead. Taka chuckled. Well, I am very much alive, and thanks for giving me the excuse to kill you for breaking the law. Mizuki paled as Taka laughed, sending a chill down his spine. So that is what that marking is on my stomach is for. I also thank you for clearing that up with me, Mizuki Tem. Then Taka poofed into a white cloud of smoke. A cage bunshin, the Chunin thought. Then Taka's voice came from behind. There has only been 4 people who know my name and face. You will not be the 5th one. Mizuki's voice caught in his throat as Taka said, Goodbye, Tem. I will see you in hell along with Danzo and the elders. Taka unsheathed his hidden blade and stabbed Mizuki in his neck. Blood spattered on his black clothes and his unprotected chin, and the grass turned red. Died by the blood of the traitor. You can come out now, Baruka-sensei. Baruka said, So, you're Naruto Uzumaki, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Silence was the schoolteacher's answer. So, or why? Oh, you going to kill me too since I know your secret? Baruka asked. Taka turned to Iruka as he put up his hood. No, why would you assume I would do that? Baruka said, The Kyuubi killed my parents, so, I hold a grudge to it. Taka sighed. Baruka, if you wanted to kill me, you could have done it when I was fighting against Mizuki with my back turned toward you. Also Iruka Yumino, you experienced the same pain I felt when I was in Masayoff. I read your file that you were ignored when your parents were killed by the fox and no one seemed to care about your loss. So you became a prankster. You felt alone and used that guise to hide the pain. Baruka said, I know that the parental loss was in there, but how did you? Taka interrupted. I seen that look in my own eyes when I looked in the mirror in Anko-chan's. You have hidden it well until my name was mentioned. So sensei, I must ask of you to not speak of this matter and we must go to the Hokage for the full explanation. Baruka nodded silently. All right, Naruto. Taka looked at him. I can't go by that name yet. Call me Taka for the time being. I will reveal my name in due time. Hokage's office. So Mizuki is dead and Iruka, here, knows your identity. Sarutobi said, puffing his pipe. Taka said, correct, sir. Sarutobi turned to Iruka. This is an SS class secret that I am entrusting you with, Baruka. Baruka nodded as Sarutobi explained, when the Kyuubi was sealed. Some people on the council plotted to make Naruto a weapon, but we were able to send him away to make sure he was safe. Then I made it look like Naruto was kidnapped and thus the law concerning the Kyuubi with the children would be still intact. Baruka said, is that true? Taka nodded. I was sent to Masayoff to be trained as an assassin, then come back here after 12 years. Baruka said, this makes sense now. Sarutobi said, only a few selected people know his identity. Should we find out that you have revealed it? He let the threat hang in the air for Iruka to get creative about his punishment. Taka said, well then, Hokage-sama, if that is all, I will retire to my apartment. Baruka said, but your wounds. Taka turned to him. It seems that the only good thing about the fox is that it can heal wounds over time. Hakurai-sega next. I will reveal who is Taka-sensei and no, it is not Kakashi or Anko. Taka sayonara and review or I will come and assassinated you with a rusty spoon. Earn trust. Hakurai-sega another day, another chapter. I need a damn drink. Hakurai-sega pulls out bottle. It is empty. No, why's the rum gone? Taka, sweat drops, all that for a bottle of rum. Toby is a good hiccup boy. Hakurai-sega flames in eyes. You bastard, you drank my rum. I kill you. Hakurai-sega chokes Toby. Taka sighs. Guess I started the chapter then. Taka's secret was safe and the scroll was returned, making Taka's reputation and trust solid. Shinobi and civilians alike respected and feared especially his relationship with Anko and Hinata. Along with some of the most powerful Jonin and Anbu such as Asuma Sarutobi, Gekko Hayate, and Yugao Azuki. Only a few handful loathed him or didn't trust him fully, among them was Kurenai Yuhi. She has her reasons and they will be uncovered. He is just like the others, like Aoi and Orochimaru. Soon he will weed his way into Anko's heart and then crush it in his palm. She thought to herself, The Ice Queen looked up to see a summons and headed to the Hokage's Tower. Hokage's Tower. As you know, today is where the next generation takes their first step in the world of ninja. Your teams will be assigned as followed. Team 7 led by Hitaki Kakashi will be Haruno Sakura, Uchiha Sasuke, and Inazaka Kiba. Team 10, led by Sarutobi Asuma will be Naru Shikamaru, Yamanaka Ino, and Akamichi Choji, and Team 8 led by Yuhi Kurenai will be Hyuga Hinata, Aburame Shino, and Taka. Next, and we are going to skip the rest since they are insignificant, you have your respected teams. You are to report to the academy at 1000 hours. Dismissed, Sarutobi said. Every Junin filed out quietly except Kakashi and Kurenai, who stayed behind. Yes, Kakashi, Kurenai, the Sandame said, turning his attention on the two of them. Kurenai spoke up first. Hokage-sama, I was wondering why I was assigned Taka to my squad. Sarutobi answered. Taka, as an assassin, specializes in obviously assassination, infiltration, interrogation, and tracking. As a ninja, he excels in taijutsu and ninjutsu, so his weak point happens to be genjutsu. Plus as a newly instated jonin, he could help you out and I think you need a little spice in your life. Kurenai bowed. That seems reasonable enough, Hokage-sama. Thank you for clarifying with me. Then the genjutsu mistress walked out as she thought, I will be ABL. Ida watched Taka's motives with Anko-chan at a closer viewpoint, and Anko-chan won't suspect a thing. When Kurenai was gone, Kakashi said, Sarutobi-sama, I requested Taka to be on my squad, why put him on Kurenai's team? The Sandame took a long drag out of his pipe. The same reasons I told Kurenai earlier apply here and including the fact that we are dealing with Danzo and those bastards I used to call teammates. They might trace the connection between Taka and Naruto Uzumaki the minute you glance at him or show favor. If I know Danzo, he is keeping an eye on him. So for now, I want you to keep your distance until he reveals his identity or you are on a mission with him outside the village. Kakashi said, Understood, Hokage-sama. The Scarecrow then thought to himself, I wanted to teach him Chidori since his speed is incredible. Secret base. Danzo-sama, the teams have just been authorized. It seems that the subject, this Taka character is part of a team under the guidance of Kurenai Yuhi. En route operative reported. Danzo said, keep an eye on him, though I doubt that he is Uzumaki. He's probably dead and I could recruit him if he intrigues my interest enough. Academy Iruka said, now that you know your sensei and teammates, let me be the first to congratulate you in becoming a genin. Taka turned to Hinata and Shino. I can't believe that we are on the same team, and poor Kiba. He has to spend time with the president of the Sasuke fan club and Sasuke. Shino said, yes, he is most unfortunate, but at least Sasuke has gotten better since you asked that question. Taka replied, true. Suddenly Kurenai appeared and called out, Teammate, come with me. The three looked sadly at Kiba and waved goodbye to their friends. Shino spoke up. My name is Shino Aburame. My likes are studying bugs. My friends, and training. My dislikes are pesticides, arrogance, anybody hurting my friends, and pedophiles. My hobbies including bug collecting and outings with my friends. My dream is to live up to the exceptions as clan leader. Hinata went next. My name is Hinata Hyuga. My likes are my friends, flower pressing, cinnamon rolls, the moonlight, and dancing. My dislikes are arrogance, perverts, rapists, pedophiles, necrophiles, humo somewhat, the caged bird seal, and sadists except Taka and Ibiki-san since they both do it to people who deserve it. My hobbies are looking at sunsets, long walks, dancing, and also outings with my friends. My dream is to destroy the barrier between the main and branch families and allow them to marry outside of the clan. Taka asked her, hey, Hinata-chan, how am I a sadist? I can understand Ibiki, but me. Hinata answered, remember the tournament with Hiro and Sasuke. Taka protested, oh, come on, I didn't hurt him that bad. Hinata said in a serious tone, Taka, after Hiro called that lady, what is her name, Enko something, you snapped and sent him to the hospital with a broken leg, a fractured skull, 4 or 5 broken ribs, his right arm fractured, and a black eye. Also when Sasuke beat up Kiba and me, you, according to Shikamaru's information, gave Sasuke a concussion. Kurenai thought, he is strong, he might abuse Anko. But he did all of that just for hurting his friends and insulting Anko-chan. Taka defended himself, but Hirotem thought he was going to get revenge for what I did to his father Ichiro-tem and called Anko a whore. Plus Sasuke beat up Kiba viciously because he was a sore loser and hurt you with a cheap shot, which proves I am not a sadist, just an ordinary assassin that hates to see his friends hurt or insulted for the wrong reasons. Kurenai thought to herself, am I wrong? Is Taka really that sincere? I think I will be paying that Ichiro a little visit today. Kurenai asked curiously, wait, what kind of books do you write? Taka pulled a book from his pouch and Kurenai expected it to be an Ika Ika Paradise book since nobody knew who wrote those books, but she was wrong. The novel was labeled, Love Chronicles. I write action and romance novels such as this one. The assassin said. Taka said, blushing, actually, some of the scenes are references of my life and personalities of people I met. Also I need you guys to promise not tell anyone about this. I will give you a sneak peek of the sequel. Kurenai and Hinata giggled like schoolgirls and nodded to Taka's proposition. Then Kurenai regained her composure and coughed. Now that we are familiar with each other, we will depart for today and tomorrow, you will take your real graduation exam. Hinata said, but didn't we already do that? Kurenai replied, that was a preliminary test. This one will test your hands-on skills as a ninja, but most of them will not pass since this test has a 66.6% failure rate. Taka smirked. Then, we'll just be part of the 33.3% success rate. We pass indefinitely. Hinata and Shino smiled at his statement and nodded. Maybe I am wrong about Taka, but just to be sure. Kurenai thought as she stared at Taka. Taka noticed her stare and called out, Sensei, are you okay? Kurenai shook her head. I'm fine. You were dismissed for today. Report at training area 8 at 0800 hours. Each genin said their goodbyes and parted ways, heading home while Kurenai went to Ichiro's house after she asked around to confirm her suspicions about Anko's involvement with Taka. I will not let that happen again, not what Aoi did. Orochimaru was wrong and cruel, but what he did was sick and twisted. She thought. Flashback 6 years ago. Aoi. Kurenai shouted, stop what you are doing and turn yourself in. Aoi turned from the tree and the young Chunin gasped in horror. Anko was bound to the tree, her legs spread out. Her shirt was torn, her hair strung out from tea. Her usual ponytail fell to cascade around her shoulders. Her face was swollen, bruised, and bloody to show that. Aoi had to knock her out as she feebly resisted. Kurenai put 2 and 2 together as she saw that Aoi's zipper was down. Oh, Kami, Anko. She shouted. Aoi smirked evilly. She was a tough little bitch. She even bit me, but she finally succumbed to my will like that dirty snake whore she is. Kurenai growled, you bastard. I'll kill you. She threw several kunai only for Aoi to move and jump into the shadow as he barked out, Sayonara, Kurenai-chan, take care of Anko-chan for me and tell her that I had a good time raping her. Kurenai moved to Anko as the Jonin and Chunin pursued Aoi. The Chunin's tears fell as she took the humiliated Anko down and covered her with a blanket as medical teams came on the scene. Flashback ends. That day was when Anko made her mask and the day that I would be her first friend. Aoi. Or wa keshite yurusanai. She thought. Her ruby eyes flashed a burning red. Soon she arrived at Ichiro's house and knocked on the door. The door opened to reveal Ichiro and then his eyes widened at the sight of her. You, please don't hurt me, I am not a pervert. Kurenai's sweat dropped as she thought, geez, this man is pathetic. Kurenai forced a smile. I am not going to hurt you. I wanted to apologize for my actions on that day, but you should be care. Full of peeking or landing in the women's section. Ichiro huffed in annoyance. It was not my fault. That damn hooded assassin kicked me into the hot springs. All I said that the snake bitch wasn't welcome in the restaurant. A tick mark appeared on Kurenai's head. The man continued, and then he decides to send my precious son Hiro to the hospital for insulting the same woman. He is a menace to society. Kurenai chanted in her mind a mantra, must not castrate, must not castrate, must not castrate. It wasn't until the next thing he said that made her snap. HMPH. To me, she is just a whore W. Who likes to fuck everything and anything that moves on sight. She is dressed like a hooker, so she must be one. I bet she let even dogs fuck her in the ass. Wham! Ichiro flew back inside his house due to Kurenai's fist. Okay. He is so getting castrated. Kurenai thought as she walked inside the house and locked the door. Luckily Hiro was still with his team or he would have heard the screams of pain in Ichiro's house. But the people believed that it was only him with someone going at it. Kurenai left quietly after she erased Ichiro's memory and replaced with a memory of him falling down the stairs and broken both of his legs. Now I am convinced of Taka's actions. Those two are the most incompetent bastards I have ever met. Hell, they are worse than Kakashi reading his damn porn in public. Kurenai muttered to herself. Somewhere in Konoha Kakashi sneezed into his mask and reached down to pull off his mask to clean his face and the inside. One of his old fandrels noticed his face and squealed in delight. Next thing he knew, he was soon running from a horde of fandrels. Damn, someone was talking about me. I'm gonna kill guy, Kakashi thought. Hakuraisaga finally finished this chapter. Next time teammate will be tested by Kurenai in the next chapter, Genjutsu test. Taka review or he'll send guy clones after you and make you wear green spandex. Genjutsu test. Hakuraisaga I am back, bitches. Now time to answer reviews. Delta 88Y thank you, and Hinata will have changes in the story and Aoi will indeed burn. Landoff Ire well, you guess correct and as the previous chapter, as for the identity. Damn you for guessing correctly. He will be doing some of the same missions like in the manga. ERXO6001U will not regret about the Naruto and Anko relationship. Silver Ice Bullet yep, always nice to see Sasuke getting bashed from time to time. Ultimate Zelda fan yes, he does puffed at her glad that you like it. Fuyuriku Naruto is not exactly super powered, he will get beat up on missions from enemies. Hakuraisaga now I don't own. Well, you get the idea. On with the chapter then. Taka woke up early to do his daily morning exercises 200 push-ups, 200 sit-ups, and a 20-mile jog. He made sure this time that he ran a later time since last time he had his favorite route. He happened to meet some guy with weird eyebrows, green spandex, and orange leg. Warmers tried to convert him to the weird side. On the upside, Taka got a good workout from running away from him who just so happened to have a green spandex suit just in his size. For some reason, let's see, the test today with Kurenai-sensei will be difficult. Since she doesn't trust me at all, I don't know much about her only her reputation as a bachelorette nicknamed the Ice Queen of Konoha. She is a genjutsu specialist. And Anko told me about her past love life. So beside that, she is bound to resort to genjutsu and that is my weakness in shinobi skills. I may have to ask Hinata or Shish Ino to help me dispel or locate the genjutsu. Taka mused. The assassin dressed in his brotherhood uniform without the hood and put on his blank Anbu mask. It begins, Taka said quietly as he walked out the door toward Training Area 8. Training Area 8 Hinata came first and since nobody was there at the moment, she began to practice a new technique that she had been secretly working on, Dance of the Gentle Wind. She whispered. She began to move in a circle as if she were surrounded and brushed her hand like she was trying to catch the wind. Hinata almost looked as if she was dancing an elegant form of ballet. Just only it was deadly and could possibly kill you if you're not careful. When she was finished, she heard clapping behind her. Hinata spun around to see Taka. It's always the quiet ones that are the most dangerous. Although I saw the ending, you possess the grace of an assassin. Can't wait to see that move in action when it is complete, Hinata-chan. Hinata smirked. Glad that you like it, Taka-kun. It's going to be my trump card when we spar sometime. Taka smirked under his mask. Wow, all that work for little old me. You must want to fight me badly. Hinata said. I can sense that you're strong, Taka-kun. I don't know what it is, but I feel a sudden attraction to you. Taka replied. I guess that I have a magnetic personality, and they say opposites attract. Hinata replied as she sat against a tree. Indeed, something just compels me to fight against you for some reason and something more. Taka said, I see, don't worry, Hinata-chan, I will give you your fight soon, very soon. He appeared over beside Hinata as he whispered in her ear, I am sure it will be exhilarating. The way he said it caused Hinata's voice to be caught up in her throat, her too. S curled at the melody of his voice produced. Soon Shino and Kurenai came in the picture. "Well, you two are early," Kurenai said. Taka greeted her by saying, "Well, like they say, the early bird catches the worm, nay." Shino looked over to Hinata, who had a light blush on her face. "Hinata, are you okay?" The Genjutsu mistress looked at Taka. "Taka, what did you do?" Taka effectively lied. "I was telling Hinata about the little sneak peek of the book I promised to give you too, but apparently, she thought the scenes were too graphic, which explains her blush. So I'm going to tone it down and show it to you two next time." Luckily Taka's mask covered his mask, sparing Kurenai's and Shino's seemingly unconvinced stares. Then Kurenai shrugged. "That does seem the case of it. Your novels are a little expletive." Taka said, "Like I said, I will try to tone it down some." Hinata thought, "Good thinking, Taka. I would die of embarrassment to say that I almost had an orgasm just by hearing you whisper in my ear with that sultry voice of yours." Kurenai said, "Now my test is simple. You will have to find me and take these scrolls from me." Hinata said, "But, Kurenai-sensei, there are only 2 scrolls. Shouldn't there be a 3rd scroll with you?" Kurenai smirked. "Always the ever-observant one, Hinata. To answer your question, this is to see who the weakest link is. If you don't get a scroll, then you will be sent back to the academy for further instruction." Taka's mind instantly works up a storm as he thought, "Wait a minute, there has never been a 2-man squad. In history, there has only been an apprenticeship such as Orochimaru and Anko-chan and regular 3-man squads. Is she trying to pit us against each other within the ranks? But there has been always a first for everything." The Genjutsu mistress continued, "You will have until 10 o'clock to catch me and take the scrolls from my body. The rules? There are no rules here, so any questions?" The genin said nothing. "Now then you will give me 15 minutes to hide. Ready, go." Shino and Hinata did not move, but Taka dashed toward her. "Never trust an assassin, nay, sensei," he said as he attacked her. He went through her and got slashed across the back. Taka planted his hand on the ground and aimed a roundhouse kick at her, but she jumped back and disappeared into the shadows. "Damn, Genjutsu!" Taka cursed as he performed the seal, shouting, "Kai!" The Genjutsu revealed Shino and Hinata a few feet away, but Kurenai was gone, so the assassin thought, "We are going to have to work together." She must have cast it on the field during the explanation. The assassin called out to his teammates, "Hinata, Shino, I am going to need your help in getting Kurenai. If I get a scroll from her, I promise that I will give you my scroll." Shino said, "Agreed, besides I don't think I would be able to catch her off guard with my Kikaichu if I take her on by myself." Hinata said, "The same for me with my Byakugan and my gentle fist." Taka said, "All right, then here is the plan I thought of if we needed to work together. Hinata, use your Byakugan to locate Kurenai-sensei. Shino, when I distract her with my assault, you will send some of the Kikaichu to suck her chakra. Also place some of them, about a quarter of your colony on me. Don't worry about it, I have a large chakra capacity and I won't be using ninjutsu or genjutsu." Shino nodded and sent a quarter of his colony on Taka's body, and to his surprise, he noticed that Taka was not even winded. "Okay, Operation Illusion Breaker is underway. Hinata, you are on," Taka said. Hinata shouted, "Byakugan." Instantly her vision turned from technicolor to black and white. She looked around and caught a glimpse of a shimmer a few meters away. Quote, "She is due east of here, about 10 meters. Taka nodded and raced toward the area, with Shino behind and Hinata a few feet behind Shino. Kurenai hid behind a tree. Seems they are beginning to mobilize. Time to begin the test. Kurenai whispered as she put up a bi-layer genjutsu. Hinata whispered to her teammates, "Guys, she just put up a bi-layer genjutsu." Both Taka and Shino nodded and released the genjutsu. Then Taka jumped out to catch Kurenai. "Hey, Kur-chan, miss me?" Kurenai retorted, "Not in the slightest, and it's Kurenai-sensei on duty, Taka." She was about to flip through hand signs until Taka grabbed her wrist, preventing her from doing so. No genjutsu, you always know that I prefer the direct approach." The assassin attacked Kurenai instantly, making her go on the defensive. He had to put his speed to the maximum to match her agility. Kurenai was hard-pressed since taijutsu happened not be her forte. TCH, I can't get away. Something told me to brush up on my taijutsu more. But, I hardly expend any chakra, so how is he that fast? Or am I getting slower? She thought in panic. Kurenai fell to one knee, panting hard. Wow, that was only an eighth of Shino's colony. I am guessing that your chakra capacity is still about Chunin level, but I see why the Aburame are so feared. Kurenai gasped out, what? She looked over her shoulder to see Kikai bugs crawling on her back. See. We had to work together to get to you and pass your genjutsu. Hinata used her Byakugan to pinpoint your location, then I had Shino give me a quarter of his colony on me, and it would not affect me much since I have a large chakra reserve. Then I would distract you, keeping you from utilizing genjutsu and occasionally have the Kikaichu on my body transfer to you. If that didn't work and you happened to escape, Shino had his remaining colony surrounding the area, effectively trapping you. He walked over and pinned Kurenai to take out here 2 scrolls, then he moved towards Hinata and Shino. As I promised, I give one of you my own scroll. He said. The Aburame said, that wouldn't be necessary to sacrifice yourself, Taka. Taka questioned, why not? Shino pushed his glasses back up to the brim of his nose as he spoke. You see, Taka, since you didn't live here, I will share some of Konoha's history. When genin are assigned to a Junin instructor, there has either been an apprenticeship or 3-man teams. In other words, there has never been a 2-man team in history. Taka said, I already know that, Shino, but are you saying Kurenai-sensei is not going to break the tradition? Shino said, yes, exactly what I am saying. The assassin said, which means that I still pass and that there was another purpose of the test. Shino nodded, as you already proved. One can't defeat a Jonin instructor all by himself or herself, who is proficient in their art and experienced in combat. Hinata said, so, the trick was not to get the scrolls, but for all of you. To work together as one to get the objective, nay, Kurenai-sensei. The Genjutsu mistress gave out a small chuckle. Correct, Hinata, you guys actually figured it out and got the test down in record time, only 20 minutes and 43 seconds. You all indeed pass. Teammate will start its first mission tomorrow. Taka spoke up. Before we go our separate ways for the afternoon, I need to review. Myself since in fact you are my teammates, we have to trust one another. The assassin spoke as he slowly removed his mask. 13 years ago, my life was in danger and the ones involved plotted to train me as a weapon. But I was saved by a ninja loyal to the Hokage and sent with a master from the Brotherhood. I trained with them, learning their secrets, their moves along with the shinobi arts, and made a vow to never reveal them or die by my own hand. My true name, Kurenai, and Hinata blushed as they both took in his handsome features, is Naruto Uzumaki. Also I have another secret to reveal to you. Do you know about the Kyuubi? Kurenai said sharply. Taka, I mean, Naruto, that information that you are releasing is classified. Taka replied, correction, sensei, the law states that N. Young that was living during the attack of the Kyuubi on that day couldn't tell the next generation. However, myself or the Hokage himself have the power to do the exact opposite. He turned to them. Truth is that your Yondaime couldn't defeat the Kyuubi, so he was forced to seal it into a newborn, since a person with already born chakra coils couldn't handle the stress and pressure of the Kyuubi's chakra. Taka lifted up his shirt and molded his chakra to reveal the seal. The newborn that he happened to seal it in just so happens to be me, and the reason why I was targeted for to be made in to a weapon and sent away from my birthplace. Hinata said slowly, so, you contain the Kyuubi no Kitsune. In reality, this village should thank you, but as always people tend to live in fear and overreact a lot. Seeing what Suna did to their own, Kurenai said, how do you know about that, Hinata? The heiress explained, I listened on my father's conservations, so he happens to have political SW. And tends to discuss such things with the council, including alliance affairs. Taka said, so I take it that you don't think of me differently, right? Hinata said, no, I do. Taka stiffened, but Hinata continued. The difference is that I think you are hot and see why you hide that face of yours. Taka smirked at her. Well, I am glad that you approve. What about you, Shino? The Aburame replied, I agree with Hinata with the exception of that comment with your features. From what I see, if you were Kyuubi, this village would not be in existence. I can see that you are the only one capable of keeping it at bay. Though we did lose some of the clan to the beast, it doesn't mean that you actually did it, so I do accept you, my friend. Taka nodded and turned to Kurenai. She spoke up in a clear voice. Even though I lost my brother to it, I accepted the fact that you hold it back and the murderer is serving time inside you, unable to hurt anyone, but you are you, Taka. I mean, Naruto, and Kyuubi is Kyuubi. Taka smiled. Thanks, everyone. Now you will keep on referring to me as Taka still until I receive myself to the village, and I must keep my mask on due to the plotter's forces might surround us. His eyes flickered to the tree and a rude member thought, I must notify Danzo Sama quickly. I have been here too long. Unfortunately, that would be his last thought due to Taka's hidden blade that slipped between his ribs. Danzo will never get me. I will eventually kill him and all who stand in my way. The assassin whispered as the ANBU's life slipped away. Then the clone dismissed himself. And that is number 13. I see that I was right after all. Danzo must be curious about my identity, including the bastards called the Elders. Taka thought, pretty soon there will be an attempt to reveal myself. Kurenai said, if nothing else, then Shino, Hinata, Taka, you are dismissed. Shino and Hinata went home, leaving Naruto and Kurenai alone. I guess this changes our relationship, huh? Kur-chan. Kurenai said, yeah, I guess it does. They both laughed a bit, but then silence overtook the laughter for a few moments. The woman said, I am sorry that I didn't trust you. I went to Ichiro's house yesterday and saw the truth from myself. Taka said, there is no need to apologize to me, Kurenai. It is all good now. Kurenai said, nays. Taka cocked his head to one side, Nani. Kurenai said, why do you forgive me so easily? Why did you pursue my friendship when I didn't trust you? Taka said, you had a right. From what I understand, Aoi Rokusho was your former boyfriend, correct? Kurenai's eyes widened, but then she sighed. Anko told you, huh? Taka said, like I said, I told her everything and she did the same. You were both hurt by his actions, and when you saw me with her, you saw Aoi, didn't you? Kurenai said, I am sorry for. Taka shushed her by putting a finger to her lips. Like I said, there is no need to apologize. You have been forgiven, Kur-chan. I promise you, Aoi will burn for his crimes by either your, Anko's, or my hand. I can't stand it when people like him desert others for power, leaving the people that they cared about. He used you and left you all alone. Kurenai said, it seems that Anko-chan did not tell you all the facts about that incident. Taka said, what do you mean, Kur-chan? Kurenai explained, before Aoi left the village, he found Anko-chan. She tried to subdue him, but he had a weapon that knocked her unconscious, and then he rode her. Taka clenched his fist as Kurenai, who was reliving the images in her mind. He knelt down and wrapped his arms around her body. She leaned it and cried on his shoulder as Taka comforted her. The assassin thought, Aoi Rokusho, you better pray to every single god that you know in your head and hope that I don't meet you, because I am going to make you suffer. I am going to torture ever so slowly and make you beg for forgiveness. Hakur. Azage, it seems that Taka has revealed his secrets to his teammates and Kur-chan. Danzo is making hidden moves in the shadows and Aoi Rokusho has a new pursuer on his heels. Next chapter is Teammates of First Blood. Taka, see you then in review. Kurenai, or I will torture you just like Aoi Tem. Teammates of First Mission. Chapter 6, Teammates of First C Rank. First Kill. Okay. Sarutobi Jii-san, this is the saint damn time that I am catching this demon-cursed cat. Taka shouted at the Hokage. The Hokage knew from experience for the 50th time that Taka called him that when he was very pissed. And now he was very pissed. Calm down, Taka, Sarutobi said, trying to placate the assassin. Taka bristled in anger. Calm down. I can deal with painting, gardening, and babysitting. But that cat happens to be getting on my last nerve. Taka sent a glare at the cat which said, if you ever run away and I am assigned to catch you, I will personally hunt you down, but you will never come back here alive. The cat ulped and reluctantly out of fear went back to the daimyo's wife. And, Shijimi-sama, a bit of advice, you are smothering Tora. Cats love to be cuddled and pampered, but the way you are doing that makes her uncomfortable and more likely the reason why she is running away. Lady Shijimi was shocked that someone finally had the guts to correct her. Not even her husband corrected her, and yet she felt strangely listened to the young man's advice. Taka turned to everyone, who currently had their mouths open. What? Kurenai said. Taka, do you realize what you just did? Taka shook his head, but Hinata answered, no one, and I mean no one in these days has the guts to correct Lady Shijimi, not even Hokage-sama. You just so happened to get rid of Tora as a frequent mission and corrected Lady Shijimi as well. You could have been executed. Taka said, it seems that Kami is smiling upon me today. The Hokage spoke up. Well, then since you completed the required number of D-rank missions, W.E. will give your team your first C-rank mission. You are to escort Kenji Yukimura back home and take care of the bandit threat there. Come in, Kenji-san. A tall man with blue and black slicked back hair. He wore a black cloak and brown pants. He also wore a large scar from his right ear to the jaw. I'm Kenji. It's nice to meet you all and appreciate you for risking your lives for me. Kurenai thought, quite that charmer. Just like Taka. Taka thought, finally to get out of this village, stretch my legs a bit. Gates. I have never been outside of Konoha before. Hinata commented. Taka turned to her, trust me. It's beautiful nature-wise. Shino nodded. Indeed. Kurenai said, okay, we are heading to a village that is close to the trading town Otakufu, so keep your eyes peeled out from bandits. They will come in packs and they will kill you if you are not careful or hesitant. The three nodded as they moved into diamond formation. Hinata was at the back, Taka on the right and Shino on the left. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Taka said. A clone appeared to cover the front. Since when you could do that, Taka? Kurenai asked. Taka replied, I was given this jutsu since I was out of tea. He village in the village where my adoptive brother lives. I hardly use the jutsu unless it is needed. I prefer the direct approach. Kenji commented, that is convenient, but aren't clones usually illusions? Taka replied, yes, the Kage Bunshin is made up of literally half of your chakra. You must be at least a Jonin to perform this, but since I hardly used my chakra, it increases to Jonin level due to training. Kenji said, of all of the genin I have been with, I have never seen a jutsu like that before. Hinata inwardly smirked, but what he doesn't know is that the Kyuubi is the one suppling his chakra reserves. Soon nightfall came and teammate along with Kenji set up camp. Okay, who will take first watch? Kurenai asked. Hinata rose her hand, and Shino spoke up, I will take second then. Taka said, third. Kurenai said, I will be last then. Night Taka stood ninja spire style on top of the tree, feeling the wind breeze past his persona. Eagle eye, he whispered. His blue eye became slitted with a tint of yellow and his vision became black and white. He looked around, see only blue dots indicating that they were harmless creatures in the area. He looked toward the tents to see his comrades, aura. There were all blue, all except one. One of his comrades had a tint of purple meaning fear. Taka mused, Kur-chan. Kurenai dreamed of herself as a Chunin. Aoi-kun, she said. Her boyfriend smiled. Nai-chan. I want to show you something. He led to a cave filled with quartz glistening off the sunlight. Wow, Aoi-kun, she said, turning to him to find him gone. When she turned around, the cave was filled with decaying flesh and dried blood. Suddenly, Kurenai was strapped to a wall. Aoi sneered, you and that snake bitch always teasing me with those clothes of yours. I can't wait no longer. He ripped her clothes off and began to wreak havoc on her body, inside and out. Kurenai tried to scream, but no sound came out. No, stop it. It hurts, stop, Aoi-kun. No, Kurenai woke up, panting and sweating. She looked to see an undisturbed Hinata and then the Jonin got up to go to the river and splashed water on her face. Bad dream, Chan. Taka's voice called out. She whirled around to see Taka with his hood down. His face was contorted into a worried look. It's nothing, Taka, she lied. Bullshit, Kurenai, you were tossing while mumbling stop. No, Aoi-kun, it hurts, please stop. Kurenai said nothing as Taka came closer. He took his hand and gingerly put it on her cheek. When Kurenai stiffened, it was 2 days before he left the village. We had our anniversary and he lured me into a cave. I never knew that he laced the area with sleeping poison. When I woke up, I was. Taka finished. You were naked and bound by ropes. Kurenai nodded. Yes, he said that I was teasing him with my bee body, me and Anko-chan. Then he ripped my sea clothes and he rode me. Taka said, what happened next? Kurenai sniffed as she recollected the memory. I was left there until Anko stumbled on me. She carried me to the hospital where I recuperated. Then she left and happened to see Aoi and his accomplice, Ibiki's brother, Ide Morino steal the Raijin no Ken. Anko followed him after alerting the authorities including Ibiki. Then she caught him and engaged him, but he overpowered her by taunting about her being Orochimaru's slutty bitch. And how good it felt to be inside me, and she lost it. It took every piece of my willpower to move to find Anko. The Genjutsu mistress smiled through her tears. We were never the best of friends. I thought she was promiscuous and she thought that I was too proper. Soon we were on a team with Aoi together until Orochimaru took her in. We both often fought over him. She got him first. Then he mped her when she came back to us so suddenly, and I went out with him. After she came back and settled in, I always pitied her and tried to rekindle a relationship with her, but she would push me away. Until Aoi became something that we could relate on. Together we were the most formidable duo besides Kakashi and Guy. Taka said nothing. All he did was pull out a small notepad and a pencil. What is that for? The Jonin asked. Taka said, this is my hit list of all the people that I will kill in the future, and the second page is my to-do list. Aoi just got bumped up to number 1 on my list. Next is Orochimaru. Then a rogue assassin named Xavier for attempting to poison my friend and killing an innocent 5-year-old boy. My to-do list is to befriend some ninja, figure out my missing link, gain trust of Kur-chan, fight Hinata-chan, date and marry a Kunoichi or lady assassin, then settle down and retire. Though it may change in the future. Kurenai asked, why would go so far for me and Anko? Taka came and hugged Kurenai. Because, Kur-chan, I want to. You two along with Hinata, Shino, Hana, Yugao, Hokage-sama, Kiba, and Shikamaru are the ones that I hold dear to my heart. Also, no one deserves to be treated like the plague or feel alone. Taka pulled back and caressed her face. Sensei or not, I will protect you and my friends, for that is my creed, my philosophy, my Bushido, my Nindo. Kurenai saw nothing but sincerity, determination, anger and concern in my eyes. The sincerity was because his words were true, the determination because he knew that he would fulfill that promise until the end of his days. The anger because he was extremely pissed at rapists and betrayers, and lastly the concern because he deeply cared for her despite of her former mistrust of him. Taka-kun, arigatou gozaimasu, Kurenai whispered as she drew closer to him. Taka stood still as her lips grazed his for a second. Then her brain kicked in and she shot back, Jigomen Nasai, I didn't mean. Taka smiled at her. It's okay. Kur-chan, I am not offended. Would you like to have some company on the watch? Kurenai said with a light blush on her face. Are you sure, Taka-kun? Taka nodded. I am not tired and I am used to losing sleep. After all, I am an assassin. Kurenai said. Okay. They both headed back to camp and laid on a hill looking at the stars while Taka had Cage Bunchin stationed at some key points. Why did I kiss him for? His lips were so soft and warm. No, stop. I am his sensei and he is my student, though that would make a nice scenario. No, bad Kur-chan, bad Kur-chan. She thought. Taka thought to himself, I think I will stay in Konoha for a while. Beautiful woman, friends, entertainment, Kur-chan's lips. Whoa, stop, she is my sensei. I can't do that to her. She will think I'm like Aoi, but why do I have that feeling again? That same feeling I felt with her. Next morning. Good morning, everyone. Kurenai said. Kenji, Shino and Hinata yawned and rubbed the sleep out of their eyes. Where's Taka? Hinata asked. Kurenai said. I swore that he was right behind me. Then she spotted him by a tree lightly snoring. He must be exhausted from trying to keep me awake. Such a sweet and gentle man he is. Whoever he marries will be very lucky to have him. Oh, you are right. You don't know how lucky you and a few others are going. I guess he stayed up watching us while I was on my shift. I will carry him until he wakes up, Kenji said, but first, can we see his face? I am kind of curious. Shino shook his head. No, he has a reflex and could possibly kill you. Kenji withdrew his hand and Kurenai carefully picked Taka up piggyback style for a while. They set off and reached the town of Otakufu in 2 hours, only to stumble on Summit. That would change the rest of teammates' outlook of being a true ninja. Kenji, a 35-year-old man, called out, "Thank goodness you were here and you brought ninja too." Kenji said, "Shin, what is wrong?" Shin said, "The bandits. They took us by surprise by leading us out of the village and they took the women and children with them, including your daughter Stellar. Just borrowing the name from Gundam Seed Destiny. R.I.P. The best girl besides Luna Maria, Lacus, Kigali, Marin and Mir in that order in the series. Bastards, could have kept her alive." Kenji was in shock and slowly knelt down to the ground. "My daughter has been captured by them," he said softly. A hand grasped his shoulder as he looked up to see Taka. "We will bring her back, Kenji-san. Her, the woman and the children, I promise you this." The assassin shouted, "Cage Bunshin no. Jutsu." 100 clones came out before him. He can make this many clones. He is not even winded, Kurenai thought. Hinata said, "Nothing less from Taka-kun." Shino said, "Excellent, his jutsu will cover a lot of ground." Taka said, "Shino, I need you to plant a kikai on each of them and if one of my clones finds the hideout, the kikai will mark the place." Shino nodded as he carried out his instructions. "Now we make a plan on what to do after we find them." Taka said. Kurenai said, "Nice work, Taka, you just may become a chunin in no time." She turned to the team. "Now on this mission, our true abilities come into place since we are a tracking infiltration team. You also may experience your first kill if push comes to shove." Hinata and Shino nodded at her. The Jonin continued, "So then Shino will come with me and Hinata with Taka in case you freeze up on killing someone." Taka smirked. "I guess I will be getting a sneak peek at your new technique," Hinata said. "Perhaps and I get to see you work." Shino said, "Now we wait. In the meantime, we better check our inventory and then help fix this place." The EE ninja checked their packs while Taka checked out his scroll. "You know sealing too?" Hinata asked. Taka replied, "I figure that it might come in handy and it proves that I am correct." Taka unsealed his scimitar, some kunai, shuriken, and ninjutsu. Then he strapped the scimitar at his hip, the ninjutsu on his back, and the kunai along with the shuriken in the standard holster strapped to his right leg. Shino restocked his pouch with soldier pills, kunai, shuriken and explosive tags. Hinata and Kurenai did the same thing as Shino. After they restocked themselves, they helped rebuild some of E village homes until Taka felt one of his clones dispel itself. "They are due west of here, about 125 kilometers." He reported to Kurenai, "All right, we will strike at nightfall. We will siege them. First after we sneak across the outskirts of their camp. Night is usually the time where the bandits start to move to sell them as slaves." Kurenai directed. Shino said, "That is a horrific life to face, especially for an innocent child." Hinata said, "Now that you mention it, I don't think I will have a problem in killing them." Kurenai said, "Then let's go." Kenji said, "Wait, I want to come." Taka said, "No. You must stay here to protect the elderly in case they come back to get something or somebody from here." Kenji protested, but Kurenai interrupted. "Kenji-san, think, if you die, how will you take care of Stellar?" Kenji closed his mouth as Kurenai said, "Look, I know that you want to help, but we can't risk your well-being. I promise we will bring her back alive. We will do whatever it takes to protect her." Taka said. The man clenched his fist. "You give hell to them." The assassin replied while he cracked his knuckles, "Oh, trust me, Kenji-san, we will give them hell." Kurenai said, "Teammate, let's move out." Night bandit camp. A guard heard laughter and clinking of sake cups. He scowled. "Shit, I just had to have guard duty tonight. Damn it, this is complete bull." He was silenced by a kunai courtesy of Kurenai. One down, and a lot more to go. She said in a steely tone. All right, you know the plan, Taka. Taka said, right, Taju Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. About 5 FTY clones appeared and Taka said in a cold tone, attack, give them no mercy. The clones moved silently with teammate behind. A bandit came out. Hey, what the uck? He met his end at Taka's ninjutsu. Soon screams were heard and the whole camp was roused only to be cut down. Kurenai said, split up and cover more ground. Free the woman and children while you can. Taka and Hinata nodded, moving east. Well, Hinata. Looks like I see that technique in action. Hinata smirked. I doubt I will need it for these scum. The two friends encountered a bandit group of 7 men. What the fuck? They're just kids. Kill the hooded freak, but subdue the girl. She got a good set of hooters on here. Hinata was disgusted. That is utterly disgusting. He just rode me with his eyes. Taka commented as they stood back to back. Well, he is right. You do have a nice rack on you, I am not gonna lie. Hinata retorted as she slipped into a Juken stance. I prefer you to do that than him. Taka unsheathed his scimitar. Then I will leave him for you to deal with. They both charged at the men. Using his superior speed against them, Taka began to slaughter the 4 men. He did an upward slash to the bandit's sword, breaking it into half, and then stabbed him in the gut. While his scimitar was stuck, a bandit tried to get a hit in, but the assassin felt his presence and kicked him, pulling out the sword. As the bandit he kicked was recovering, the assassin leapt into the air and sliced the bandit with an overhead slash. Taka turned, flicking off the blood as the bandit's body split in half and fell to the ground. The 2 remaining bandits tried to run, but Taka reacted quickly by taking 2 of his kunai and flung into the back of their necks, severing the spinal cord and killing them. He looked at Hinata, who had incapacitated 2 of the bandits and currently fighting the 3rd one, which was the same one who said that comment. Surrender now, girl, and I won't kill you. You could be my personal slave. Hinata scowled. I rather die. The bandit said, then so be it. He brought his broadsword and swung it in an wild arc. The heiress moved back and the sword sunk deeply into a trunk of a nearby tree. The bandit grunted as he tried to free it, but Hinata took no chances and tapped his chakra points, rendering him immobile. Please, don't kill me. The bandit pleaded with her. Sorry, but raping is a turnoff to women and some men. Have fun in hell. Hinata said coldly. She hit his head, causing his brain to shut down and he died. Hinata moved away from him, shaking a little. Hinata. Taka called out. You had no choice. Hinata replied. I know, I never thought that your first kill would be this hard. Taka said. You will get used to it over time. Now let's save those women and children. Hinata said. Right. Kurenai and Shino the Aburame and his sensei went through their enemies like butter. Shino got his first kill by throwing a kunai, which sunk into a bandit's carotid artery. Since some of the Taka clones were in existence, Kurenai covered Shino as he retched his stomach out. As he finished, Kurenai soothed him and thus Shino became a new man. Shino D. erected his colony to drain a squad of bandits while Kurenai cleared the path using a genjutsu and carving a second mouth in their throats. Okay, they are thinning out. Let's go and find the captives. Kurenai called out. Shino nodded. Understood, sensei. They moved quickly to find women and children huddled up in cages. Shino noticed telltale signs of beating on the women and children. Don't worry, we will get you out. Make sure you blindfold the children. I don't want their young lives scarred any further. Kurenai thought. Good job, Shino. You have saved the mental strain on them. Some Taka clones came and reported. Kurenai-sensei, me and Hinata have currently freed the captives on our side, but there is no sign of Stellar. A woman spoke up. That is because she was taken by the leader of the bandits, Kosuke. Kurenai ordered. Taka, you help Shino and escort them out to the village. I'm going after Kosuke. Taka nodded. Just be careful, he might be waiting for you. Kurenai nodded. You 3 don't worry about me. Taka and Shino escorted the women and the blindfolded children out of the cages to the forest where the others were waiting. Kurenai rushed through the forest to find Kosuke. Unknown that the real Taka followed her. Hinata soon they reached the village to find the elderly. Fathers and husbands welcomed them back in open arms. Tears were shed on that night. Then Kenji asked, Where's Stellar? Hinata said, Kurenai-sensei stayed behind to retrieve her from Kosuke. Kenji blanched. Oh no. Shino asked, what is wrong, Kenji-san? Kenji said, Kosuke happened to be a trap expert, and on top of that, he is good with a blade. He is also a missing nin because he went psychotic from a blow to the head. Hinata said, that means he knows how to dispel genjutsu. Damn, we got to do something. Taka said, no need, Hinata, I am already there. Hinata said, but how? Taka explained, since a cage bunshin has its own chakra network, you and Shino Su don't distinguish which one is the real me. The real Taka is trailing Kurenai because he felt a bad vibe through his body. Hinata said, you bring back Kurenai-sensei alive, alright. She is like an older sister to me. The clone nodded and dispelled itself. Kurenai, the genjutsu mistress undercover with a concealing genjutsu, saw a big tent up ahead. She looked around to see well-placed traps and cautiously moved around the traps. Soon she reached the tent and opened the tent flap to see Stellar about to get violated. Kurenai's eyes widened as her memories of her position flashed through her eyes. Then she snapped, leaping at him in a rage only for Kosuke to tug at a string. Suddenly Kurenai was caught and tied by constricting ropes. Ninja art. Bondage binding jutsu. I never thought that a ninja would come for me, let alone a pretty kunoichi like yourself. He turned to a crying Stellar. I will play with you later. Right now, I need to break this bitch. Kurenai struggled against his hold as he caught her legs and forced them open. Then he reached into his pants, only he stopped and began to scream. Taka slowly unsheathed his ninjutsu, leaving an eerie sound. You little shit, I am going to kill you. Erg. Taka slashed him. Then he kicked him out of the tent flap and heard Kosuke scream as his own traps activated. The assassin first untied Stellar, who flinched a bit. Don't worry, I am going to hurt you. Stellar, and if you're insecure because you're naked, I can't see you because of my mask and hood. He lifted his hood to confirm that statement and unsealed some sweatpants and a gray shirt. Then he untied Kurenai. Are you okay, Kur-chan? Kurenai said, yes, I am fine, but I think he made me bruise my ankle. Taka gently pressed his hands on her ankle to confirm that it was sprained. He pulled out wrapping to wrap it around her ankle and made a clone to carry Kurenai-sensei while he carried Stellar, both bridal style. The three of them, well, four if you see. Out the clone walked out to see Kosuke on the ground still with kunai stuck in his body. Taka set Kurenai down and nodded. The clone with Stellar turned away. The assassin took a knife and embedded in his head to confirm that he was dead. Then he cut off the head and unsealed in a scroll while wiping the blood on Kosuke's trousers. Kaden. Hausenka no Jutsu. The body burned and Taka picked up Kurenai to walk back to the small village. Village Taka. Kurenai and Stellar walked to find Kenji, Hinata, Shino, Shin and the others to greet them. Stellar. Kenji cried. The 16-year-old whispered, Chu-san. Taka gently put her down and said, go, Stellar, go to your father. Stellar was set down and ran to Kenji, then they hugged. The whole village then ran to them, congratulating them. Hinata said, thank you, Taka. Thank you for bringing her back. Taka hugged her. I would have brought her back even if it cost me my life. Kenji turned to Kurenai and teammate. Thank you all for saving them and my daughter. Tonight we shall celebrate in your honor. Later there was dancing, music, food and laughter all around as the village was lit up. Stellar and Hinata along with Kurenai giggled as they watched Taka play around with the children. Then the blonde girl asked Taka to take a walk with her. Stellar said to Taka, thank you for saving me, Taka-kun. Taka said while he watched the children play, you're welcome, Stellar. I would have saved you and everyone else if I knew you all were in danger. I can't stand people who prey on others because they are defenseless. The blonde-haired girl came up and reached into Taka's hood to slip the mask up until his mouth was revealed to plant a soft kiss. That is your reward for saving me. Taka whispered, oh boy, I just hope Kenji doesn't try to kill me. He is very protective of you. Stellar giggled, that may be true, but you can defend yourself easily. Kenji's voice said, true, but a father's wrath always wins in the end. Ka stiffened and turned to see Kenji with his arms crossed. Kenji said, normally I would chase, but you did save my daughter and the men's women and children, so I will let you slide. Plus I trust you, Taka. I don't see anyone who would save a complete stranger. Taka said, preying on the defenseless is cruel and wrong. I had a comrade that went rogue and killed an innocent child to run away. On top of that, Kosuke was close to doing an unspeakable evil, and I loathe rapists with a passion. Stellar said, Chu-san, I would like a request. Kenji said, anything, dear. Stellar said, blushing, I would like to have Taka make love to me. Both men shouted, what? The blonde girl said, I rather give my virginity up to a noble man than a heartless bastard. Taka said, surely you don't want me. I mean, I'm a shinobi, and what if you get pregnant? Kenji said, so that is your plan, Stellar. Fine, then I will grant your request. Taka said in shock, Kenji-san. The father said, Taka-kun. Though I hate to admit it, there will be a new group of bandits here next year, and the boys here are more interested in her looks rather than her heart. I trust you more than any other man, Taka-kun. Plus, since I am paying for this mission, you have to do as I say. Taka said, but, Stellar said, using her puppy eyes, you don't think that I'm beautiful? Kenji seems amused as Taka stammered, no, I mean yes. I think you're beautiful, it's just that, I have never had this situation before. A father actually agrees to let me pop his daughter's cherry. That never happens to me before. Stellar said, there are first things for everything. The assassin said, are you sure you want to go through with this, Stellar? The girl nodded and Taka sighed, fine, I'll do it, but I'll have to inform this to my sensei and my team. Kurenai and Team 8. What? The Jonin said, why you? Taka answered, because I'm the only noble young man that she and her father trusts. Shino pushed his glasses, well, this is quite a predicament. Hinata said nothing, but thought to herself, lucky girl. Well, at least he will write a new chapter. Kurenai said, why didn't you refuse? Taka replied, it was an order from Kenji, since he noticed that the boys in this village only look at her outward appearance than the inner first, so he decided to take her offer. Kurenai said, I object to this decision. Taka said, Sensei, I made a promise to Kenji to protect her, and I did said that I will do whatever it takes to protect her. Using me as a scapegoat to protect her virginity, you must understand. Kurenai bit her lip and then said, fine, I don't approve of it, but I know you never break promises. Go ahead. Shino nodded as he thought, as Kiba would say, lucky bastard. Hinata said, have fun, Taka. Kurenai said, Hinata. The Hyuga heiress said, what? I am just wishing him good luck. Shino said, I am going to bed. This is a bit irrational to me. Kurenai thought, why do I feel so uncomfortable with this? Taka is my student, and it seems that Hinata has some feelings for him, though she doesn't show it much. Am I jealous? Are you sure now, Stellar? Taka asked. Stellar sighed. Taka-kun, I am sure I want to do this. She came up to him and lowered his hood. My name is Naruto, but I prefer Taka in public for now. Stellar took off his mask and placed it on the dresser. Then I will call you Naruto for the night. She kissed him deeply on the mouth as she unhooked his girdle belt, dropping with a loud clank. Naruto, this time, kissed her back, holding her against him. Feeling her body melted into his, Stellar then made a bold move by moving her tongue toward her mouth. Naruto felt her tongue and sent his own in to do battle with hers. Stellar moaned, Ed in ecstasy as Naruto's tongue won and explored her mouth. While she was preoccupied, he unbuttoned her blouse and she broke the kiss to lift up her arms to discard the restrictive clothing. Taka too, off his uniform to be only cladded in black boxers with falcon patterns and his erection trapped between the hem of his boxers and his pelvis, its head peeking out. Stellar unconsciously licked her lips as she reached for it, but Naruto caught her hand. Skirt first. He said, sound barrier, that way, you can scream as loud as you want and won't wake up anybody. Taka said as he crawled on the bed in front. Sweet, Naruto said as he licked his lips. Before Naruto could do anything, Stellar grabbed his hands and pulled him to the bed. Stellar stood up as he sat down, then she took off his boxers, setting free his tool from confinement. Oh, he is big and soon, I am going to. Stellar said, can I hear you say that you love me, Naruto? I want to see your eyes to remember it. Naruto gave her a soft smile. I love you, Stellar. He entered her fast, breaking her barrier, and Stellar gasped while she dug her nails into his back. When the wave of pain subsided and converted to pleasure, Naruto moved in a slow-paced rhythm, locking eyes with Stellar, his blue against her violet. Stellar crossed and locked her legs as he bucked into her, making her scream, "Ah, Naruto, yes, fuck me. Harder, fuck me harder, ha, ha, that's better, now do it faster. Stronger." Stellar said, "Hey, Naruto, I have an idea, you ever though of using Cage Bunshin?" Naruto said, "The thought never occurred to me." She moved and flipped Naruto to straddle him, making her harden. "Oh, we are definitely going to have fun." Then she bended over. "I want it in my ass this time, and then we are going to do every position I can think of." Naruto smirked as he thought, "This is a good night, I love being a ninja." Next afternoon, Taka came out with a smile on his face and Stellar with the same expression and a noticeable limp. Kenji whistled. "Hey, you two look like me and Kimiko from our first time." Taka said, "She was amazing. I wonder where she got those positions. I mean, we did the dragon, the accordion, the missionary, doggy style, NYPD, and many more I can't recall." Hinata said, "Oh, she must be still sleeping." Taka said, "I better wake her up then." He went upstairs when Hinata asked. Akrali asked Stellar about her love encounter while Kenji, with the help of Shino, made breakfast. "Kur-chan, are you sleeping?" "Kur-chan." He opened the door to find Kurenai dressed in ruby panties with matching bra. She was in the process on putting on her wrap dress. Taka, blushing as he closed the door, "Gomen, Gomen, Kur-chan, Gomen." Kurenai blushed at the realization that Taka had walked in on her. But she was somewhat glad that he saw her body. She walked downstairs, meeting everyone, and they ate breakfast. She inwardly smirked at Taka's actions. No matter how serious he acts or looks, he still seems so innocent. Time skip 1 hour later. "Thank all for what you have done. We will never forget you or your deeds." Kenji said, "Come and visit us sometime." Stellar said, smiling as she hugged each of them. When she reached Kurenai, she hugged her close and whispered, "Take care of him and follow your heart, Kurenai-san. I am willing to do threesome if you like." Kurenai smiled at her with a light blush on her face. "Goodbye, Kenji-san, Stellar-chan. Teammate, let's go home, move out." Kenji thought as he held his daughter close to him, watching the backs of Teammate. "I have a feeling those four are going to be great someday." A few weeks later, Teammate just finished another set of D-rank missions to cool down from that C-rank mission. Despite the fact that Taka practically fucked Stellar's brains out, she miraculously didn't get pregnant, though it still pissed off Anko and Kurenai discreetly for some reason that Taka had a feeling that he knew. Anyway, the Team C aim into C Team 7 with Sakura complaining, "Hokage-sama, this is ridiculous, can't we get a better mission?" Baruka began to scold her while Kiba and Kakashi sighed while Sasuke crossed his arms. Sarutobi said, "My decision is final. Sakura, though your team has gotten the required number of D-rank mission, your team is still too inexperienced since your teamwork is the lowest out of the group." Sakura retorted, "It's not our fault. Dog Boy keeps on holding us back." Taka spoke, "Maybe because you and Sasuke don't listen to him." Sakura turned to him. "You," Taka replied, "Yes, me. Hiba here knows about teamwork the most since his moves are collaboration with Akamaru. Unlike you, you follow Sasuke like a lost puppy, and Sasuke tends to be the lone wolf of the group and thinks you are usual. And Kiba is between a liability and someone he can work with." He turned to the Sandame. "How about we take them on a C-rank mission and show them how teamwork pays off?" Sarutobi thought about it for a minute and replied, "An excellent idea. Then Teammate and Team 7 will have a joint mission." Hinata whispered to him, "Are you nuts? We have to deal with Ms. Bitch," and Shino whispered in her ear, "Hinata, he did it for Kiba. He looks miserable with a screeching Sakura and a brooding Sasuke." Hinata looked at Kiba, who gave Taka a relieved look. "Well, I guess it is a necessary evil to pay, as long as Sasuke doesn't hit on me. Then I'll be fine," she said. Sarutobi said, "All right, Tizuna, you may come in now." They all turned to see an old man with a sake bottle in his hand. Chizuna said, "These brats are the ones protecting me. They all look weak except the hooded kid." Kakashi grabbed Sakura and Sasuke while Hinata's eye twitched. Shino buzzed in anger and Kiba along with Akamaru growled. Taka said, "Chizuna, you are in good hands and you would do well not to insult my teammates." "Looks can be deceiving," Chizuna said. "I am the super bridge builder Chizuna. I expect you to pravi. Demi super protection until I get back to my country and complete it." Village gates. Wow, it's nice to be outside of the village once in a while. Kiba said, letting Akamaru stretch his paws. Shino said, "That is what we said on our first C-rank mission." Sakura asked, "Are there ninja in Wave Country?" Kakashi answered, "No, Sakura. Wave Country is an island near the Mist Country. Their economy is built on trade. Which is why Chizuna is making a bridge." They walked past a puddle which instantly alerts Kiba, teammate, the Jonin and Sasuke, seeing them tense. Suddenly two masked ninja wrapped a bladed chain around Kurenai and Kakashi to slice them into bloody chunks. "Taka," Hinata said. "On it." Taka shouted. The assassin moved in, cutting their tendons. They fell to the ground while Shino knocked them out. Then the Jonin came out, unharmed, and Sakura said, "How did you?" Kakashi pointed to the pile of bloody logs. The one-eyed Jonin said, "Your team is very good, Kurenai, what exa? CTLY have you taught them to work like that?" Kurenai answered proudly, "Nothing but new jutsu. Their teamwork was flawless since they were friends and rivals." "Well, Taka and Hinata," Kakashi said, "I just got the short end on the stick." Huh, Sasuke scowled at teammate because he knew and hate to admit it, that every member of teammate was stronger than him in being taught new jutsu. Kakashi turned to Chizuna. "I believe that you have some explaining to do, Chizuna-san. These Kiri Chunin were after you, why?" Chizuna bowed his head in silence, knowing that he was caught. "This is at least a B-rank mission now," Kurenai said. Sakura said, "We aren't ready for this, we are just genin." Sasuke retorted, "No, we will continue this mission. We have enough people to compensate this anyway." Kurenai said, "That is true. We do have an assassin, 2 Jonin and 2 genin with skills that are proficiently high for a genin. The rest of them, I am not sure about, but we will continue." Kakashi said, "Sasuke is proficient in Kaden Jutsu, Hiba with his family taijutsu and ninjutsu, and Sakura, with traps." Hinata replied, "But without teamwork, they are useless, right?" Sasuke and Sakura scowled at her as they continued walking toward Wave. Hiba knew that his skills were centered around teamwork, so he knew that his friend had not offended him. Gato's tree house. "The demon brothers has failed, now what you going to know?" The short man shouted. The man took his Zanbedu and aimed at Gato's head. "Relax. I, Momochi Zabuza, will do it myself." Gato said, "Are you sure that you can do that? They hired some strong ninja." Zabuza said, "I'm not called the demon of the mist for nothing." Back to the gang. "What thick mist, I can't see a thing," Hinata said as teammate walked across the water while Chizuna and Team 7 were in the boat. Kaji, the boat runner said, "Wave Country is at the base of this bridge, we should see it soon." Kiba said, "Whoa, this thing is huge." Taka thought, "So it's Gato after Chizuna's life, According to the black market, he hires Nukenin and mercenaries, then kills them. Maybe we can convince whoever he hired to join us instead." Soon they approached the deck. Kain got off there to walk the rest of the way until Kiba threw a shuriken in the bushes. Akamaru ran in the bushes to fetch a white bunny. Sakura said, "Hiba, you idiot." Shino said, "No, he isn't. That rabbit's fur is white, instead of brown like it's supposed to be in spring. Somebody used this bunny as a kawarimi." Kakashi's eye widened as he shouted, "Everyone, get down." Everyone hit the FL. As a giant guillotine sword came over their heads. Zabuza Momochi, A-rank Nukenin, alias, the demon of the mist. Kakashi quoted. Zabuza said, "It seems that my reputation precedes me just like yours." Sharingan no Kakashi, huh. It seems that Gato was right about the old man hiring strong ninja. I never thought he could hire the Genjutsu mistress, the pale blade, the silent beetle and the hawk of the maelstrom. Hiba looked at Team 8. "You guys have nicknames." Hinata said, "We never knew that we were famous at all. Must be all of those previous 5C rank. Taka said, Naruto no Taka, I like it. Shino commented, it does seem to suit you well. Sasuke thought, how did they get famous? Better yet, how the hell Kakashi get the Sharingan? Zabuza said, sorry to bother you but I need you to hand over the old man. Kakashi said, unfortunately we can't do that. Team 7, protect Tazuna, Manji formation. He uncovered his headband to reveal his Sharingan eye. Me and Kurenai will handle this. Kurenai stepped beside him as teammate fell into a second Manji formation, covering Team 7's blind spots. Zabuza said, a shame, oh well, at least I get to fight against you. 2. Then Zabuza pulled out Kubikiri Haucho and stepped onto the lake, Ninpu, Kuridaker no Jutsu. The robe Jonin faded from their sight. Kakashi thought, since he is known to be proficient in the art of silent killing, he'll come after me or Kurenai first. Kurenai thought, Zabuza would probably go after Tazuna for a quick kill. Sakura shouted, the mist is getting thicker. Then Zabuza's disembodied voice, 8 choices, liver, lungs, spine, clavicle vein, jugular vein, brain, kidneys, heart. So many choices, which one should I go after? Taka flared his chakra to ward off the killing intent. If you think that it's going to work, you're wrong. Zabuza appeared in the middle of the group, really. Just Zabuza arched his back to see another Taka with a kunai that he stabbed into his back. Yes, really. Zabuza then reappeared behind Taka as the Mizu Bunshin receded back into a puddle of water. Sakura screamed as Taka was sliced in half, but into a poof of smoke. What? A cage Bunshin? The ex-mist nin thought. Don't move, Kurenai said as she held a kunai to his neck. Kakashi said, also holding a kunai to his neck, it's over. Zabuza chuckled, ha ha hey hey, it's over. Yeah, right, the real Zabuza and a Mizu Bunshin appeared behind the two. It's not that easy to fool. Kiba said, that one was a fake one too. Zabuza swung Kubikiri Haucho while the clone kicked Kurenai away. Kakashi ducked as Zabuza used the momentum and the pommel of his sword to send a powerful kick to Kakashi. Kurenai at the same time was punched into the lake. Kiba thought, holy shit, Sensei got knocked the fuck out. Sakura shouted, Sensei. Sasuke thought, so he is strong in taijutsu and ninjutsu. Kakashi and Kurenai popped out of the water. Why is this water so heavy? They both thought. The two Zabuzas appeared behind them. Sweden. Suoro no jutsu! Exclamation mark quote. Kakashi cursed. Damn, we were too careless. Zabuza said, it will be a bit easier if you two can't move, we will finish things later. Mizu Bunshin no jutsu. Quote. A clone appeared on the shore. Hee, you all play act ninja except for those 3. But you know what? A real ninja is someone who has survived numerous brushes with death. Team 7 shrank away, but teammates stood their ground. Shino, Sakura, protect Tazuna. Hinata, Hiba, Sasuke with me. Sasuke said, why shouldn't I follow your orders? Hinata said, unless you want to die, I suggest you follow. Uchiha-san. Taka said, alright, Hiba, Akamaru, assault them. Hiba said, right, Ninpu, Shikyaku no Jutsu. Hiba went down and sent Akamaru a pill, which turned his fur red. Akamaru jumped on Kiba's back, barking as his human partner shouted, Ninpu, Jujin Bunshin no Jutsu. Akamaru turned into a second Kiba. Now, Kiba, Taka shouted, right, Gatsuga, quote. The TWO suddenly turned into drills and plowed right into Zabuza. Zabuza used his sword to block the attack, but it sends him straight toward Hinata. Hinata crouched and blocked some of his chakra points before he recovered and kicked her away. Then Sasuke threw some kunai, which destroyed the clone. HMPH, so you destroyed my clone, but now how exactly are you going to get me? I am on the water while you are on land. Zabuza asked. Taka looked at Sasuke and said, let's share a little light with him. Sasuke and Taka flipped through hand signs and shouted, Kaden, Gukaku no Jutsu. Fuden. Rinkuden. The fireball and wind bullet combined to create a big fire bullet speeding straight toward Zabuza and his clone, making them release the captured Jonin into the water while the clone was destroyed. You little brats, Zabuza shouted, charging at them, but Kakashi moved in his way. Your fight is with me, Zabuza. Kurenai, move out of the way. She jumped away to let Kakashi deal with the problem. Zabuza and Kakashi jumped away and did hand signs at breakneck speed, finally ending with the Tori sign. Sweden. Suiryuden no Jutsu. Everyone watched as the two water dragons battled it out. So many hand signs, but in seconds. He copied them perfectly, Sasuke thought. Kiba said, "That's our sensei." The water fell to see Kakashi and Zabuza at a standstill. Strange, what's going on? Zabuza thought as he jumped away. He copied my movements completely. Kakashi finished reading them. Zabuza thought in shock, the hell? Is he reading my mind? Damn it, that, Kakashi voiced. Freaky Eye is pissing me off, right? Zabuza shouted, "You can't beat me, you monkey bastard. I'll make it so you can't never open that mouth again." He flipped through hand signs until he saw something unnerving. That is me. That's impossible. Is this Kurenai's genjutsu? Kakashi saw his chance and shouted, "Sweden, Daibakufu no Jutsu." Zabuza said, "What? Impossible." He was blasted by the water vortex as he thought. He did my jutsu before I was able to perform it. His back slammed into the tree and Kurenai threw kunai, pinning him to the tree. "It's over. Zabuza Momochi," she said, just before she got to him. Zabuza was hit by two senbons and while Kurenai rushed to Zabuza, the same thing happened to her. "Kurenai sensei," Hinata shouted. The hunter ninja moved and grabbed Zabuza to shunshin away. Taka rushed to Kurenai and carefully pull out the senbons. She is fine. Whoever that hunter ninja was, he or she did not want to hurt Kurenai and save Zabuza. Kakashi covered his eye with his headband. Judging by that, she and Zabuza both will recover in a wee. Now we have to get to Tazuna-san's house. Kakashi suddenly keeled over. Crap, I used the Sharingan too much. Taka carried the unconscious Kurenai. Bridal style while Sasuke and Kiba carried Kakashi. Tazuna's house, are you two going to be alright? Tsunami asked worriedly. Kakashi answered, we should. Recover in a week and Zabuza will have to do the same. Sakura shouted, with you two down, how can we defeat someone that even you couldn't defeat? Shino said, there are capable people here that see. And, if we all combine our strengths and cover our weaknesses, then we will be fine. Taka said, just by observing you three, we figure out your strengths and weaknesses. Hinata said, first, Sakura, your only strength is that brain of yours and your weakness is that you absolutely don't train at all, your fangirl attitude toward Uchiha-san and the thought of your night in shining armor sweeps you off your feet. Basically you suck as a ninja. Sakura bowed her head in shame knowing that it was true. Kurenai said sternly, Hinata. Kakashi turned to Kurenai. No, Kurenai, Sakura needs to hear this. I have been trying to figure out how to break that attitude and this is the best way, either this or Anko. Kurenai paled at the thought of a mini of Anko's mask running through Konoha. Hinata continued, we will put you through a harsh physical training regiment and you will do it because both our senseis are down, making us the temporary leaders. There will be pain, lots of pain. Sakura paled in fright, I won't do it. Kakashi said, Sakura, you will train under Hinata and that's final. Shino said, Kiba, your strength is your collaboration taijutsu, ninjutsu and tracking, VU. Your weakness is your temper and boasting. Your boasting tends to be a little excessive and could potentially cause an opening in your defense. Also if you're angry, you tend to get sloppy, so we need to train you in meditation. Kiba nodded, fine then, Shino, I meditate. I hope it works better than my method of biting my hand to calm down. Taka said, Sasuke, your strength is tact, resourcefulness, kaiden jutsus and speed. Your weaknesses are your arrogance, lack of teamwork and not properly mastering your arsenal of jutsu. Sasuke scowled, what do you mean not mastering all my jutsu? I have mastered all of them just by performing them as proof. Taka shook his head, you think that, but the chakra you used for your jutsu is excess and thus tires you out more. If you continue, anybody can defeat you in ninjutsu. I could defeat your Gukakyu with my Rinkuden. Sasuke decided to challenge that. That won't happen, fire beats wind any day. Taka walked over to the senseis and created 10 cage bunchins. Taka grabbed Kurenai bridal style and a clone supported Kakashi. Outside, we will do this outside. Then he Shunshin wind style. Then Hinata grabbed Sakura while Shino and a clone grabbed Sasuke and Kiba. Clearing, Taka set the Jonin up against a tree and stood in front of Sasuke. Now hit with your best Gukakyu, Sasuke. Sasuke said, gladly, Kaden, Gukakyu. Taka shouted, Fuden, Rinkuden. The fireball and wind bullet met in the middle, but to Sasuke's surprise, the fireball imploded and part of the wind bullet came through and blasted the Uchiha off his feet. Sakura shouted, Sasuke-kun. Taka came up and helped the Uchiha to his feet. Fire may beat wind, but using your chakra unwisely will beat that theory any day, so we are going to train you in meditation, tree climbing, water walking, and training regiment where you must rely on teamwork. The meditation is to calm your anger down since you always seem to be angry at something. You don't cut yourself, do you? Sasuke said, what? No. Taka said with a smirk, good, I almost thought you were emo, so we will start tomorrow. Gado's tree house. You idiot. You failed. You're supposed to be the demon of the mist. I have a half of a mind to. Gado shouted as he stretched out his hand towards Zabuza until Haku grabbed his hand. Don't you dare touch Zabuza-sama with your filthy hands. Gado yelled, in pain, and his samurai bodyguards tried to stop Haku, but she took their swords and held them at their throats. I am in a bad mood, so if you value your lives, you will leave now. Gado cradled his arm as he said, luckily I came up with a contingency plan. Meet your co-partners. Zabuza and Haku turned to see a green-haired man with gray eyes along with a team of AIM ninjas wearing the same jumpsuit and breathers. Aoi Rokusho and Team Oboro at your service, he said with a mock bow. Zabuza looked at him, but inwardly glared at him. Aoi looked at Haku. Wow, such a pretty young lady. Haku snapped, I'm a boy. Aoi held up his hands. Sorry, you look like a lady to me. Well, who are we up against? Haku said, Naruto no Taka, Sharingan no Kakashi, Hinata Hyuga, the Awaken, Shino Aburame, the Musei Kauchu. Kurenai Yuhi, the Genjutsu mistress. They also have an Inazaka, a girl named Sakura, and a boy named Sasuke on the team. Aoi inwardly smirked. Looks like we will be finishing our business, Nai-chan. Next few days, Team 8 has set to work on Team 7. Shino had the easy task improving Kiba's fuse, and Kiba became mild-mannered and somewhat sophisticated. He had learned to use his head and his instincts to fight. Hinata had literally beat most of Sakura's fangirl attitude out of her brain and got her to train hard. Sakura knew 3 genjutsu and her academy taijutsu was polished enough to fend off at least a high genin ninja. Taka had run Sasuke into the ground, but it paid off. Sasuke realized that he was using less chakra than normal and mumbled his thanks to Taka. In turn, Taka gave him Kaden, Nenshukiri no Jutsu for his reward. In evaluation, Team 7's teamwork was better now and at least on par with Team 10's teamwork. They also knew tree walking and water walking. Kakashi and Kurenai slowly regained their strength, and all of them had the pleasure of meeting Inari, a young boy who was a bit bitter. Soon at dinner on the 5th day, that bitterness of his snapped. Everyone sat at the table with Inari glaring at everyone, especially Taka, as he remembered the conversation of the first day they met. Flashback. Who are you people? The boy asked. We are your grandpa's hired bodyguards. Hinata said sweetly. The boy said straight. You are all going to die. Nobody can beat Gado and his men. Kiba said. Please, we will blow Gado away. Inari scoffed. Yeah, right. Tsunami scolded. Inari. Taka looked at Inari as he was walking away. You lost someone dear to you, didn't you, Inari-san? Inari stiffened a bit and the assassin said, nevertheless. Gado is only a spineless little man who hides behind his money. Destroy his money and he is ruined. We will protect Tazuna from him. Flashback ends. Is something wrong, Inari-san? Taka said. Inari snapped. Yes, you people make me sick. Nobody here can stop Gado and his men. The weak will always be destroyed by the strong. Now you people come here, laughing and joking like it is a game. You have no idea how I suffer. Being a ninja is a better life than this. Taka said in a dead, calm tone. Are you finished? Inari glared with hot tears on his face in anger. The assassin said, good, because first off, I told you. Gado hides behind his money. Your father stood alone that wall of money while nobody else would stand by him. In that result, the village including you let him die because of cowardice. Second, being a ninja or an assassin means you have to kill people innocent or guilty, and to top it off, we have to act like we never care about it. I'm no ninja, but as an assassin, I like people for me to survive, well. I used to. Plus you grew up with family while me. I never knew my father or mother. I grew up feeling like an outcast, out of place. I have friends shunned for things out of their control. Friends killed by former friends. Friends rode by someone close to them. Even my former lover was poisoned and she died in my arms. If none of those things that I mentioned happened to me or your friends, then you have no right to talk about suffering. The assassin got up and said, Tsunami, if I may be excused. Tsunami nodded dumbly as the Jinchuriki walked out the door. Hinata rose to follow him. But Kurenai shook her head no. Who was his lover? Sakura said. Kurenai said, to be honest, Taka never told us about this former lover of his, but he will tell us when he is ready. Taka was on top of a tree near a lake. He dropped one of his explosives into the body of water and the water rushed upwards into the air, covering him. Cassandra, I'm sorry, so sorry. He thought as tears ran down his face, or was it rain? Then he heard Xavier's cruel laugh and Taka snapped in anger as he smashed trees into splinters until he finally slumped to the ground in exhaustion, falling in a sleep. Haku, where are you going? Aoi asked. Haku answered, to get herbs for Zabuza-sama. Aoi scoffed, leave the old man alone. I will be more than enough to defeat them. Haku said, Rokusho-san, even you can't beat 2 Jonin and 6 Genin by myself. With that, she walked off to the forest. Haku picked up herbs and saw a little bird on the sleeping Taka's shoulder. She slowly reached up to choke, but Taka suddenly grabbed her arm and unsheathed his hidden blade at her throat. Oh, sorry, you should be more careful, miss, Haku said. Haku. Taka repeated, Haku, what are you doing here at this hour? Haku said, collecting herbs. Taka smirked, for Zabuza. She stiffened, but Taka interrupted, hold on, I don't want to fight you, just talk. I NT to ask if you and Zabuza would like to return to Konoha with us. Haku said suspiciously, why? Taka said, because Kiri hates you too for the assassination attempt on the Mizukage and Gato will kill you too since he is known to have nuked Nin, disappear. Haku said, I will ask him in secret since Gato has hired another ninja named Aoi Rokusho. Taka stiffened, are you certain that is his name? Haku nodded and Taka cursed. We may have to fight to make it real. Notify Zabuza of the plan and I will notify my team. If Zabuza decides to come with us, one of us will ask, the sun is shining. And he will answer, but the ice is slippery. Haku said, fine, but what is the real reason why you are doing this for us? Taka said, you had the choice of killing my sensei, yet you didn't, and for that. I am grateful for sparing her life. Haku bowed slightly and shunshin away with the herbs while Taka reported the encounter to everyone. House, so you negotiated with the hunter Nin to bring him. Kakashi began. Taka said, Haku is a girl, she just says that she is a boy to fend off perverts. Kakashi said, okay, her and Zabuza to be brought back as potential allies. Taka nodded, yes, and there is something else. Gato had hired more ninja. Kurenai said, who would they be? Taka said, Gato hired a Genin team from A-Man. Aoi Rokusho, Jonin instructor of the team. Kurenai's body went rigid and Kiba asked, what is so special about him? Sasuke said, he used to be part of Konohagakure until he stole the Nadime's sword the Raijin no Ken from Konoha and fled, laying low until now. Taka thought, that and he and Kur-chan have history with each other along with Anko-chan. Kurenai thought, finally, closure, Aoi. Our journey is at an end. After this, only one of us will be left standing. Taka said, so Kakashi, you will deal with Zabuza. Sakura can protect Tazuna. Hinata will fight Haku, which leaves Sasuke, Kiba and Shino to fight against Aoi's Genin team and Kurenai along with me will fight Aoi. Kakashi said, fine, but why you, Taka? The assassin flexed his hidden blade as he lightly slid his finger up and down it. I have a score to settle with that man for my 2 friends. He looked at Kurenai and she interpreted it as, we will fight this together. Kurenai smiled with her eyes saying, thank you. Next day Bridge Team 8 and Team 7 along with their senseis and Tazuna arrived at the bridge to see that the workers were sprawled out of the floor. Instantly the ninja tensed as Kakashi voiced, "It seems that they are already here." Then the mist began to thicken and Zabuza's voice spoke. "Long time no see, Kakashi, Kurenai. I see you're still with those brats and one of them is shaken with excitement." The mist cleared to reveal a lot of Zabuza's Mizu Bunshin. Kakashi I smiled as he said, "Do it, Sasuke." Sasuke took out 2 kunai and sped around, slicing the clones back into water. "Nothing less from the Uchiha," a voice said which Kurenai instantly recognized. The mist cleared even further to reveal Haku, Zabuza, and Aoi along with his genin team, Team Oboro. "Long time no see, Nai-chan," Aoi said with a smirk. Kurenai said, gritting her teeth, "Don't call me that. You lost that right to call me that a long time ago, Aoi." Taka placed a hand on her shoulder, sending a calming feeling over her body. Kakashi said, "Everyone, let's go." The Konoha ninja charged at their respective opponents. Chizuna's house, the 2 samurai Waraji and Zori cut down the door, startling Tsunami. "Are you Chizuna's daughter? Sorry, but you're coming with us." The 2 stepped only to fall face forward with a kunai in the back. "Sorry, but I don't think she wants to go with," a Taka clone said. It turned to Tsunami and asked, "You okay?" She nodded to him and it replied, "Good. Hide upstairs. You should be safe there with Inari." Kakashi vs. Zabuza. The Jonin clashed against Zabuza. "The sun is shining." Zabuza retorted, "But the ice is slippery." Kakashi said, "So you are coming with us then?" Zabuza said, "Yeah, well, we better start or Aoi and his lackeys will start getting suspicious." Kakashi said, "Right then." Zabuza took out Kubiki, Rihaucho while Kakashi took out 2 kunai in reverse grip. Zabuza aimed for Kakashi's knees and the Jonin instantly jumped over it, slashing at Zabuza's face. Zabuza tilted his face backwards, avoiding the swipe. "Hey, not the face," he growled. Kakashi said, "That was for that kick you gave me a week ago." Zabuza brandished his Zanbeiju. "Oh, it is on, bitch." Kakashi moved in to meet his charge and clashed in the middle. Zabuza slashed at Kakashi's torso, but Kakashi jumped and planted a kick at Zabuza. The ex-missed Jonin fell backwards and used the Zanbeiju to slow himself down. Then Zabuza flipped through hand signs. "Sweden. Suiryuden no Jutsu." Kakashi followed the same thing and the water dragons clashed against each other. "Hey, again with the copying, looks like we are going to have to take it up a notch." Kakashi said, "Seems so." Haku vs. Hinata. "Well, this is going to be fun." The Hyuga heiress said, "Indeed." Haku said, "They both charged at each other, their speed trying to overpower each other." "It seems we are at a standstill, Haku-san." Haku said, "Ah, but you're incorrect. I have 2 aces, the water on the ground and I got one of your arms occupied." The fake Hunter Nin flipped through one-handed signs. Hinata said, "May be true, but you forget." Hinata dropped a kunai in her left hand and struck Haku in her shoulder. "I'm a Hyuga." Haku backed up, her arm feeling numb. "I see. It's unwise to face you in close combat then." She attacked with Senbons to distract Hinata while she flashed through one-handed seals, Sweden, Sensatsu Susho. She stamped a T the water and the water rose to form into hardened, makeshift Senbons needles to fly at Hinata. "Kaden," she shouted, spinning around as a wall of chakra surrounded her, deflecting and flinging some of them back at Haku. The ice user was forced to dodge or block her own jutsu. "So you can use your chakra to spin and protect yourself while attacking, making a perfect defense." Haku stated. Hinata said, "Correct, but we are at a standstill. I'm a close-range person while you are a mid-long-range person. Your left arm will be numb until 2 hours or up so you can't use any jutsu and I can get close to you because of your Senbons, therefore we both lose." Haku said, "You are correct, so we might as well just sit and wait a while. They can't hear us because of their own battles." Hinata said, "So why do you follow Zabuza?" Haku-san. Haku seems to be sad. "It started with my bloodline. In Kiri, bloodlines were hated and feared, so my mother hid and married my father. Soon I found that I inherited my mother's bloodline and showed it to her. She scolded me and told me to never use it again, but one of my father's friends saw it and told my father. Then my father and some of the neighbors came and killed my mother. Then tried to kill me. Haku paused for a second. I killed them using my bloodline and ran away, scavenging for food until Zabuza-sama found me. He didn't care or fear my bloodline and accepted me. So that is why I follow him to this day. Hinata said, that is a tragic story. It seems that we have something in common. I was a timid little girl and shunned for my lack of confidence until one day my own father yelled at me calling me a failure. My sister shunned me for being weak and my cousin resents me for having his father killed being captured by a Kumo nin for my bloodline. Soon after that, I made my shy personality my mask and secretly trained hard until I met Taka, who told me to cast my mask off. Haku said, it seems that both of our fathers are idiots. The girls both laughed lightly. Sasuke, Shino, Kiba versus Oboro, Mugi, Kagari said, TCH, we are always stuck with the weak ones. Kiba retorted, this coming from freaks in beige SP. Andex and inhalers strapped to their mouths. I feel insulted now, Shino said, let's finish this quickly. Sasuke said as he flipped through hand signs, you read my mind. Kaden, Gukaku no Jutsu. The fireball came at the trio of AIM ninjas and hit them dead on. That was easy, Kiba said. Shino commented, too easy. Suddenly they were surrounded by clones. Clones. This is nonsense. Ninpu. Shikyaku no Jutsu. Quote, Kiba attacked one of them, only the attack was taken like rubber before Kiba tore through the body. What the? Kiba began, but the clone took out a double-ended kunai to swipe at him. Shino said, they are only clones, the real ones must be hiding in this mist. Akamaru barked and ran toward the railing. Oboro came out of the ground to hit Akamaru away, but Shino threw a kunai at him, you are not getting away. Quote, Oboro was forced to become airborne and thought, damn, they found us, this is not good, we only know moves for genjutsu, but with that dog, he will know RP. Ozit. His thoughts were broken with the cry of, Suga. By Kiba. Poor Oboro couldn't dodge and was drilled into the ground. Mubi shouted, Oboro, you bastard, you are going to pay. He lunged at Shino, who dodged and let his Kikai devour his chakra until he had no more. Kagari decided to retreat only to run into Sasuke's fist rendering him unconscious. Sasuke said, well, that sucks, at least Taka told us to wait for the mercenaries. Let's go and protect Tazuna for the time being. Aoi versus Taka and Kurenai. New boyfriend, Kurenai. Never thought you like younger men. Aoi said. Kurenai retorted, at least he is a better man than you. He is my student, not my boyfriend. If he was, I'm sure he can satisfy me more than you. Taka thought while blushing, I wouldn't mind satisfying you. Stop that, I am in a battle. Kurenai thought, he could be my boyfriend, if he wanted to. No, bad Kurenai, not again. Aoi bristled in anger, you are going to pay for that remark. He threw up his umbrella and shouted, Ninpu, Joro Senbon. Taka and Kurenai moved back to deflect the Senbons from coming at them. Then Aoi took out the Raijin no Ken and attacked Kurenai. She dodged while Taka, wielding his scimitar, slashed at the AIM ninja, only to have Aoi block it with the lightning sword. Then Kurenai came up behind him to slash with her kunai, but Aoi pushed Taka away and dodged Kurenai's slash. Aoi stabbed at her only for Taka to parry his thrust. HMPH, so you're Naruto no Taka, Aoi said, trying to overpower the assassin. Yeah, you're the person who ars my sensei and Anko-chan. Aoi said, Anko-chan. How is she? Taka said, she's better, but it would make her happy to see you again, with your head snapped. I will never forgive for what you did to them. Kurenai said, gladly. Taka and Kurenai moved as one, pushing Aoi back. Taka slashed at Aoi while Kurenai swiped at his feet, making Aoi fall. Then sensei and student both planted a kick to his chest, making him crash into the railing. Kurenai flipped over Taka's back to slash at Aoi's torso, and then Taka kicked him in the face. Next, Kurenai drove her knee into Aoi's family jewels and Taka followed up with a palm strike, sending him crash to the floor. Aoi charged, swinging his sword widely. You can't possibly defeat me. I have the Raijin no Ken, the sword of the second Hokage. I have the ultimate power. Taka simply moved to disarm him. You are too dependent in that sword, he said as he punched Aoi with the hilt of his scimitar. Kurenai was about to stab him until Taka stayed her hand. What? Why, Taka, this is a chance for me to be rid of him forever. Kurenai said. Taka said, no, he needs to suffer and Anko need her shot at him. They tied him up and drugged him, taking the sword and equipment away from him. Zabuza, Haku, Kakashi and Hinata along with Sasuke, Kiba and Shino came to them. Are you going to kill him? Asked Zabuza. Taka said, not yet, someone owes him pain. Then Gato appeared. Zabuza, what are you? Haku threw a Senbon in his neck, killing Gato instantly. Finally he shuts up. I was getting tired of his mouth. The ninja turned and charged at the mercenaries, who fled. Some of them charged at them. One of them shouted, there are many of us and most of them are just kids. The mercs that charged at them met their fate at the hands of the ninja and assassin. Taka sheathed his scimitar and ran toward the first mercenary he saw and jumped in the air to ram his hidden blade into his neck, and then he closed the merc's eyes. While he was doing this, the mercenaries charged at him only to meet their end at the blade of Zabuza's Kubikiri Haucho, Haku Senbon and Kakashi's Reikiri. Sasuke aimed at a Gukakyu, burning them to a crisp while Hinata moved in, tapping their hearts. Shino had his Kikai drain the mercenaries' energy while Kurenai used Genjutsu to make them kill themselves. Finally it was over with. Hiba and Sasuke were both traumatized along with Sakura, who brought Tazuna to them as soon as she heard the commotion, the kills setting in. When they retched out their stomach out, Team 7 and teammate along with Tazuna went back to Tazuna's house and were celebrated as heroes. Finally peace was brought to Wave Country. Hakurai next chapter is Aoi's torture. Aoi's torture. Hakurai now the torture begins for Aoi Rokusho. Taka, note that some scenes are a little barbaric and gory Hakurai but that is the fun part. Taka, why couldn't it be a quick kill? Hakurai the bitch doesn't deserve that. He, like all rapists, should be tortured slowly and painfully. One of the main reasons of the R factor is dedicated to my friend and this chapter represents what I would do to them. Anyway, let's start. Chapter 8 Aoi's torture. 2 weeks later, thank you all for doing this. Tazuna said. Kakashi nodded. You're very welcome. We will try to come and visit you guys sometime. Inari looked at Taka. Taka, I'm sorry, for. Taka held up his hand. It is okay. Inari-san, there is no need to apologize, although you owe me a favor. Inari said. What is the favor? Taka smiled. My favor is for you to protect your ND father and mother with your own 2 arms, just like your father long ago. Taka took out one of his handcrafted knives and gave it to him along with a sheath. When push comes to shove, use this to protect yourself. Your friends and family. Got it? Inari smiled while crying. Why yeah. Taka said. Hey, good, you're crying because you're happy. Never cry when you're sad. Inari nodded and everyone waved goodbye, turning away toward the horizon, but not without hearing the name of the bridge, the Great Dokanju Bridge. Road Team 7 and teammate were chattering among each other while Kakashi was busy reading his book. Oblivious to the surrounding area, only Kurenai and Taka were a little behind, walking with Aoi muttering to himself and flinching at every sound. Taka looked at Kurenai out the corner of his eye to see a satisfied smile on her face. So, how many genjutsu did you unleash on Aoi? He asked. Kurenai said, not much, just the hell viewing jutsu, penance trial and judgment day. Quote, Taka said, those are your strongest genjutsu besides that other one. The woman said, I know, I developed them in case I met him on a mission. Can you believe that he broke in 10 minutes? I remember now that he never liked genjutsu at all. Taka said, remind me to never piss you off at all. Well, my turn to dish out some pain and get to Konoha quicker. Kakashi overheard the last part. Just how are you going to do that? Taka took out a scroll and unsealed 7 horses. One of us is going to have to share since there are 7 horses and 8 of us. I will share with anyone. Kurenai said, I will share then, Taka. Quote, Kakashi said, looks like someone is a little close to their favorite student. Kurenai said with a light blush, that is not what it looks like. I want to keep an eye on Aoi. Kakashi thought, are you sure that is all? Kurenai, because the way you look at Taka, it is almost like, you admire, even like Taka to an extent. Everyone got on a horse except Taka and Kurenai and rode off in a trot. The assassin tied Aoi's legs to the back of the horse's saddle and drew a strange-looking seal on the rapist's forehead. Then Taka swung his leg up and over to get on the saddle. Come on, Chan, he said, holding his hand out to her. Kurenai took his hand and was brought upon the horse. What did you draw on him? She asked. Taka said, it is a seal that restores damage to the body and mind. Kurenai growled, so his mind is repaired now. Taka said, yeah, but the fun part is that I get to drag him around and the path we're on is very rocky, so he will be in pain and healing at the same time, but the pain will stay there. Aoi demanded, what the hell are you doing? Release me at once. Taka said, no, I'm bringing you back to Konoha for your crimes against Anko. Kurenai and the village you betrayed. You will be punished before you get there. Kurenai-sensei already dished out her revenge. Next is mine, and finally Anko-chan will have her revenge too. Oh, by the way, she is the second best in the torture and interrogation division, which means she is very sadistic, so I'm leaving your pathetic excuse for balls to be castrated by her. Sin. See, you didn't hear me because your mind was shattered. That seal on your forehead I drew will heal you instantly, but not the pain, so enjoy your suffering. Taka clicked his tongue, alerting the horse, Iku's, Rain. Rain snorted as she galloped away, dragging Aoi across dirt, rocks and some foliage. Aoi screams as his body crashed into the hard boulders and his skin was quickly being skinned away. Riding past Sasuke, Shino, Hinata, Sakura, Kiba and Kakashi, they both waved as Aoi's screams of agony were muffled by the hooves of the horse. Taka made sure that he had hit every rock, making Aoi very uncomfortable. His face, torso, legs, well, pretty much everything was burning with pain. The two purposefully would stop a few times, to let the pain sink in, and then go again to prolong his suffering. In a few hours, they reached Konoha to meet Izumo and Katetsu. Halt, they said, state your business. Kurenai said. Kurenai Yuhi along with Team 8 and Kakashi Hatake with Team 7 coming F. Rom mission to wave and bringing in missing Nin Aoi Rokusho. Katetsu said, damn, you guys did a number on him. He shouldn't be even alive if you drag him around for 4 hours. Izumo said, would why? Oh, you like us to escort the prisoner to the T&I division. Taka said, that won't be necessary at all, gentlemen. I believe that someone else needs to pay Aoi a little visit before we shipped him off to Ibiki. Taka and Kurenai grabbed Aoi while Kurenai had ordered Shino to report to Sarutobi to go straight to her best friend. Enko in Kurenai's apartment. Well, today is boring. I really wish there was something for me to do. There aren't no people to mess with at the division, Enko said as she chewed a dango skewer in her mouth. Then the doorbell rang and Enko rolled off the couch to open the door. Oh, hey, Kur-chan, Taka-kun. You guys are back, the snake mistress said with a smile. Kurenai smiled back. Yep, and look, we brought you a present too. Enko's eyes lit up. Dango or sake? Taka said, even better. The two moved to reveal a pained Aoi, shaking on his knees. Well, damn, you two did a number on him. What did you do? Why is he gritting his teeth like he is in pain and clinging at Kurenai? Taka replied, oh, nothing much. Just Kur-chan shattered his mind in under 10 minutes with her genjutsu and we dragged him into a rocky area for about 3 or 4 hours with a regeneration seal on his forehead. Enko whistled, remind me to never piss you two off. Kurenai replied sweetly, oh, you won't do that, Enko-chan. Anyway, we figured to keep him alive to get your show. Chien, and since you are a part of the torture and interrogation division, you can question him and give him a living hell. Enko said, good idea, I was getting bored. Enko dragged Aoi to the T&I wheel. Ding, leaving a pale Kurenai and a confused Taka. Sensei, why are you so pale? The assassin asked. A bored Enko is very dangerous. That is when she is most sadistic. Kurenai said, I feel very sorry for Aoi now. Wanna watch? Taka said, might as well, that way I can learn to never let Enko get bored. Enclosed room. Aoi was strapped to the wall, strung up and naked as the day he was born. NOV. Her headlamp was swinging side to side ominously as Anko stepped into the light with a grin. "Hello, Aoi. Remember this scene? It was how you left me and Kurenai in that position on that day." "Deja vu. Huh." Aoi laughed nervously. Hey. Anko-chan. Let's not do anything hasty. I am your teammate, remember?" Anko said, "Oh, I remember. Back then you used to care about us, but now I can see through your lies. We already know the secrets since we had Inoichi mind read you when we first came in. So now something is going to come off now." Aoi spat at her feet. "Fuck you, bitch. You were right, I never did care about you or Kurenai. Both of you were just whores with your dress code." Anko backhanded and nut-checked him, and then Aoi gritted in pain as a bruise started to form. "Now, Aoi, we never did that. We trusted you with our lives and you just came and spitted on that friendship that we offered you." Then she approached him and knelt down to the thing that makes, well, I might as well typed it in past tense. Made him a man. What are you doing?" Aoi asked fearfully. The hubby princess said, "Oh, nothing, just taking the one thing that makes you a man since you took my purity. Now don't worry, this won't hurt a bit, it will hurt a lot." Aoi screamed as Anko slowly cut into his sensitive area. "Now you know that getting something amputated without some form of anesthetic, especially a sensitive area, hurts a lot." Ibiki winced and thought, "Okay, we need to add an 11th commandment. Thou shalt not piss off Anko or your precious will be removed." Kurenai said, "Well, I wouldn't be talking big. Since you are a woman, or is it transvestite now?" Kurenai said, "You don't got any, there is nothing to suck. Besides, I would never suck yours, so they were microscopic." "Anko-chan, how did you manage to find them?" Anko answered, "Telescope." Aoi said, smirking, "At least I parted with my virginity willingly. You were such an innocent girl until I showed Konoha what you really are, a slut." Kurenai flinched and took out a rusty spoon from Anko's torture kit along with a needle. She stuck the needle into his leg and Aoi shouted, "What the hell did you do to me, bitch?" Kurenai said, "What I did you, rapist, is inject with a poison which makes your pain receptors increase tenfold. Now I will cut off your fingers one by one." She proceeded to dig into his finger, causing him to grimace and scream in pain. After one came off, Aoi said, "Please, mercy." Kurenai said cruelly, "Sorry, I am sold out." After taking 3 hours, Kurenai dig off his fingers and toes to have the appendages out. Kurenai said, "Your mind is shattered, you're bleeding externally and internally by Taka and myself, and you are not a man anymore." Aoi thought, "So this is how I end. HMPH, I guess I deserve it. Well, off to hell." Taka said, "Well, he is finally dead." Anko said, "Yeah, the bastard is finally dead now. Kur-chan, I never knew that you had it in you." Kurenai said, "Huh, yeah, it seems that we are the only survivors of Team Himaro." Taka said as he rubbed an eagle feather in Aoi's blood, "May he find torment in hell. Come on, let's go and get some dango to eat." Anko squealed and grabbed Taka and Kurenai. "Yay, dango!" Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, quote. A few hours later, Taka and Kurenai along with the wasted Anko walked inside the house. Anko was set on the bed and Kurenai seemed to have her mind on something. "Are you okay, Kur-chan? You seem to be thinking about something very hard." Taka asked. She said, "I was just thinking about the wave mission and everything." "Who was your former lover that you mentioned to Inari?" Taka sat down. "Oh. Her name was Cassandra. I saved her life from Templars who believed that she stole in front of her, and in return, she brought me to her house and nursed me back to health when I got a little sidetracked. During the times of me assassinating someone, I found myself wanting to see her more and more. Never experiencing the emotion, I asked her about it and she giggled at me, explaining it to me. We fell in love with each other and soon became close. She was the one who told me write books about my life. When Xavier, the rogue assassin, found me with Cassandra, he decided to rile me up by poisoning her. I was overcome with grief and anger and fought Xavier with a rage. I won until he decided to escape by holding a 5-year-old hostage. When I surrendered, he mercilessly killed the boy and escaped, so I decided that I wanted to get stronger to bring him to justice, and Altair brought me her. To be truthful, Cassie was a lot like him, Kur-chan." Kurenai said, "Like me. Taka nodded. Cassandra was an independent woman. Strict, but kind. I remember that she scolded me for certain things. Kurenai said. How old was she? Taka said. She was 14 and I was 11. It took me a few months to realize my feelings for her. She would be 16 this month. Kurenai gave Taka a hug. I am so sorry. Taka said. You don't have to apologize. I shed my tears for her already. Xavier was once my friend, then he became jealous of me rising in the ranks. We were always competing, and then he became cruel and distant. One day, he went too far in a sparring match and tried to kill one of our brethren. I stopped him in Altair, after Al-Mualim died, had him demoted to novice for the offense, but he blamed me and the Brotherhood for his fault and went rogue. Of all of the new assassins, he was one of the best. Kurenai said, so that's why. Taka nodded. Also I made a promise to the boy's parents to bring back Xavier's body to them. Kurenai said, closing her eyes. I want to help. You helped me with my remnant of the past and now I will help you with yours. Taka smiled softly. Arigatou, gozaimasu. Kurenai smiled and kissed his cheek. But then something inside of each of them burst and they began to kiss each other. This time, Kurenai did not want to stop and neither did Taka. Their minds said that it was awkward but their bodies and hearts reacted differently. They broke the kiss and looked away from each other, blushing. Kur-chan, I will see you tomorrow. Taka said. Kurenai said, blushing, why yeah, tomorrow. Taka walked out of the house, thinking, I can't believe I kissed her, but it felt so. Kurenai thought, why did I kiss him and I actually enjoyed it? But he experienced love, pain and sorrow over the course of a few months. Oh. Naruto, you had to grow up so fast. Hakurai the feelings between Naruto, Taka and Kurenai are emerging now and soon I will focus on the Naruto, Enko and Naruto, Hinata pairings during the Chunin exams. Taka it seems that everything is working out fine. Aoi has been tortured and killed. Soon it will be Orochimaru and Xavier. Next chapter is entering the exams. Chapter 9 entering the exams. Finishing another D rank, teammate left the mission room, chatting with each other. Taka and Kurenai could not look at each other in the eyes since that kiss 2 weeks ago, making Hinata and Shino notice a bit. Suddenly a falcon circled overhead and the Jonin said, okay, team, you're dismissed for today. You are free to do whatever you want. Then Kurenai performed the shish Unshin no jutsu to disappear in a puff of smoke and Hinata immediately asked, okay, Taka, spill it. You have been acting very weird around sensei. You can never look her in the eye without blushing and averting your gaze. Do you like her? Quote. Taka replied, trying to avoid the question, of course I do. She is my comrade and friend. Shino said, I believe that she was referring the term in an intimate relationship matter, Taka. The hooded assassin replied with a sigh, I don't know, she reminds me of Cassandra so much. When she comforted me, we just kind of kissed each other, and the strangest thing is that I liked it and I think she liked it too. Hinata said, you kissed Kurenai-sensei. She is like 7 years older than you. Taka turned his head and said, Cassandra was about 4 years older than me. Shino said, well, this is new and shocking, I might add. Hinata was inwardly fuming. Damn it, first stellar, now sensei. Damn, I never expected this to happen. If only he had a bloodline, then this wouldn't be hard at all. Now I'm going to have to try harder and take drastic measures. She thought. Taka said, I don't know what to do. I don't want to cause her pain like Aoi, but I want to be with her despite what people say about it. Shino replied, normally I am not supposed to be the emotional voice, usually the logical voice, but you need to follow what your heart is telling you to do. By the way, who is Cassandra? The assassin relayed the history between him, Xavier and his deceased lover. In the end, Hinata was sad for the tragic end of his former lover and pissed at Xavier, promising painful things to do to him that involved burning and branding something very sensitive. Shin was the same way, though you couldn't see on his face, there was a slight buzzing and his body language shows that he was agitated. We're sorry if we caused you any pain in remembering her, Taka-kun. The Hyuga said sadly. Taka gave her a soft smile. It is okay, it reminds me to Mauve. Along with my life and remember the good times we shared together. Shino said, Well, I must be going home now. It seems that my father is giving me a new colony today and I will be occupied for a few hours, so I might as well get it over with. The Aburame left with Hinata and Taka waving him adieu. Hinata turned to him, so how about we discuss your predicament over barbecue? Taka sighed. You are not going to let this go, are you? Hinata shook her head. Remember, I told you that I have an attraction to you. If Kurenai-sensei feels the same way as you, then I have some competition with her. Taka laughed as he led her to the restaurant. Hokage's office. It's that time of year again, the Chunin exams. Kakashi said, when does it start, Hokage-sama? The Sandaime replied, 3 weeks, will you be nominating your teams? Kurenai said, I nominate my team, consisting of Hyuga Hinata, Aburame Shino and Taka for the exams. Asuma said, I nominate Yamanaka Ino, Nara Shikamaru and Akamichi Choji for the Chunin exams. Kakashi said, I nominate my team as well. Suddenly Iruka blurted out, Hokage-sama, may I speak? Sarutobi nodded and the academy teacher said, I can understand Taka being able to handle the exams. But the rest of the genin will not be able to cope with the struggle in the exams. Kurenai replied, Iruka-san, my team had already experienced their first kill as well as the 2 boys on Kakashi's team. They have been coping with it along with the help of their friends. The Chunin thought, already, their first kill at that age. Kurenai continued, along with that, I trust Taka to keep them together. As long as they trust in each other, they will overcome this exam with ease. That statement caused Iruka some relief in rejuvenating his faith in his former students. The Hokage stated, Guy had already sent his nomination, so everyone except Kurenai is dismissed. The Jonin and Chunin filed out of the room, leaving Kurenai and Hiruzen alone. I need you to tell Anko that she will be proctoring the second part of the exam. The old leader said. Kurenai nodded and the Hokage asked, Kurenai, are you okay? You seem to be distracted. The female Jonin bit her lip and replied, I'm fine. Hokage-sama, Sarutobi knew that she was lying, but decided not to push the matter, then you are dismissed. Apartment Anko sat on the couch, eating dango and watching Blade, Trinity. Then Kurenai walked in without noticing Anko at all. The Snake Princess knew when her friend did this sort of thing, something was troubling her mind. Anko walked up to Kurenai and shouted, Ohio, Kur-chan. The Genjutsu mistress, startled at her friend's outburst, replied, Oh, hi, Anko-chan, I didn't see you there. Gomen and Hokage-sama told me to tell you that UWI LLB proctor for the second part of the Chunin exams. Anko said in a serious tone, Never mind that, something is bothering you, what is it? Kurenai protested feebly, and nothing. Anko said, Kurenai, remember what Taka said. Friends don't hide secrets from friends. Kurenai whispered, I kissed him. Anko replied, Kissed who? Asuma, you know he is afraid of commitment. Kurenai shook her head, No, not Asuma. Taka, I kissed him. Twice. We did it the first time when he comforted me from that nightmare on our first C-rank mission, and we did it again 2 weeks ago when he confessed about his former lover, Cassandra. After that, I can't stop thinking about his lips, his body, how he held me in his arms, how he comforted me with his words. I never felt this way before, since, ever. Anko replied, Girl, there is one thing to explain that feeling. You are falling for him. Kurenai perked up, But I can't. I'm 21 and he is only 13. Anko said, So, Cassandra was older than him too. Plus you two may die on a mission or something. Kurenai argued, But this is different. We are 7 years apart. She was 3, about 4 years. Anko said, Kur-chan, face it. You dreamed of him, think of him. But yet you are denying what your heart wants. Your mouth made excuses, but your eyes say something else. Kurenai said, But, Anko interrupted, No buts, pretty soon somebody else will take him from you. It could be me or maybe that Hyuga girl on your team. Kurenai said, What? Anko said, Why not? I mean, he is cute, strong, loyal, and from what I can tell with his friend, he got a lot of stamina. Anko smirked, See, you do care for him. I knew all of those things already and you feel territorial of him. You love Taka. Kurenai Yuhi, Kurenai slowly sat down in the chair. I'm in love with him, Anko said, and I'm pretty sure he is feeling the same way too. Damn, I wish he had a bloodline. Kurenai said, you mean? Anko nodded. Yeah, I kinda liked him too. He is T. He only want to see past the mask, and I doubt that anyone will want to associate with me as their wife. I can see myself with him. Plus you remember how I was dazed on our first date. Kurenai said, dazed? You were practically oblivious to everything except you and that rose. You kept staring at it until you fell asleep. Anko looked at the rose, which was still alive, but a little wilted. Yeah, you were right. But eventually if he doesn't have one of us will be heartbroken and have to ask for an open relationship. Kurenai said, true, well, I better give these slips to them, and while I am at it, I will ask Taka to go out tonight. Taka the assassin sighed in despair. He just couldn't get Kurenai out of his head. In truth, it was overwhelming. He first felt connected to her. Next, over the past weeks, he noticed that Anko would steal glances at him and blush, so there was a possibility that Anko had feelings for him, and now Hinata practically confessed that she also has an attraction. All three of them made him complete. Kurenai was like Cassandra, Anko was like himself, and Hinata was a mix of his and Cassandra's flirting side. Anyway, after they talked about his predicament, which made him more frustrated, Hinata gave him a chaste kiss on the cheek and left to go home. Taka was sitting, lost in his thoughts, and then a familiar voice called out to him, Taka-san. The assassin looked up to see Haku. Haku, when did you get here? Haku answered, just this afternoon. It took us a while to teach some of the young men and women how to defend themselves. What is wrong with you? Taka said, I'm falling in love, again, this time it's with 3 women. I feel connected to all of them, but sadly I can only choose one. If I had a bloodline, this would be much easier. Haku commented, I'm sorry for your predicament, if only you could have someone to make you a bloodline. Taka perked up and shouted, Haku, you are a genius. He hugged her and paid the bill before running off, leaving Haku dumbfounded. What did I say? Taka ran through the street to bump into Kurenai. Kur-chan, Taka said, Chi Taka-kun, I have been looking for you. She said, looking at her. The assassin helped her up as he asked, what is it? Kurenai asked while blushing, I was wondering if you would like to go out on a date with me tonight. Taka said, oh, sure, I pick you up around 8. Kurenai said, great, oh, and here is your slip for the Chunin exams. Taka said, you nominated us. She nodded and the assassin smiled, we are more than ready for this, sensei. I will see you around 8, all right. Kurenai smiled, right. Taka's house. The man moved inside his house, moved on top of his bed and meditated to travel deep into his mind to the only one who could help him. Mindscape. Taka traveled into his mind. Wow, my mind is a sewer, need to change that. Then he approached the gate to find 2 blood-red eyes and a malicious smile on its face. You must be the Kyuubi, greetings. The fox replied, and you must be my tenant, come closer. Taka came closer and its claws came out to stop in front of Taka. You show no fear. Good, to what do I owe this pleasure of you seeing me? Taka said, I would like you to upgrade my eagle vision into a bloodline, a dojutsu. Kyuubi said, fine, I will do it unless you free me. Taka said, unfortunately I can't do that without you being out of control. You would ravage Konoha down to the ground, and I have some friends here that will die if I release you. How about a contract? Kyuubi said, a contract. Taka said, you will be a summon and be bound to me. I will summon you as a last resort and grant your freedom with some restrictions. Kyuubi pondered for a moment. What are the restrictions? Taka said, your size will be restricted depending on how much chakra I use, and you can't kill anybody with the exception of a few selected people. Kyuubi closed its eyes and said, fine, I will do it. Now this will hurt a bit. Kyuubi moved his claws to touch Taka's forehead and the palm of his left hand. Taka gritted his teeth as the excruciating pain coursed through his body, mainly his eyes and left hand. After what seemed like an hour, the pain subsided and Taka looked at his hand to see a swirl picture Aragon's mark, and his eyes seemed to see clearer than normal. Thank you, Kyuubi, you will be summoned in due time. Kyuubi said, You better, boy, or this will be taken away from you. Taka said, understood, Kyuubi no Yoko. Taka broke the connection and awakened in his room. Okay, now that I got the bloodline, I can pass it off when Kyuubi's chakra influenced me sometime. Now the date. 7:45 Anko and Kurenai's apartment. The Genjutsu mistress came out of her room, dressed in a ruby red dress with red ninja heels. There was a slit on her right side that came up to mid-thigh. Anko said, are you trying to kill Taka with this dress? Kurenai asked, do you think that it's too much, Anko-chan? Anko replied, hell no, Taka is going to practically undress you with his eyes. The doorbell rang and Kurenai rushed to the door and opened it. Taka stood there with his Anbu mask with slit to see and the lower half was cut off. He was wearing a black mandarin shirt and pants. Oh damn, either I'm dead or hallucinating because I see an angel. Anko smirked as Kurenai blushed at Taka's praise. Thank you, Taka-kun. Ready to go? She asked. He nodded and offered her the crook of her arm. The revered Ice Queen took it and was led away. Taka introduced Kurenai. This is Kurenai Yuhi, Anko's friend. I am taking her here for an outing. Machiko smirked. I am beginning to think that you like older women. I will have Aya serve your table. Aya stepped forward and led them to an empty table, serving them buttered rolls and their orders. Salmon with lemon pepper for Taka and teriyaki chicken for Kurenai. Taka and Kurenai both sat eating and talking about the lives as novices in their art, each exchanging secret views on certain things and sneak peeks on Taka's new book, Swirling Flowers, Safety and Peace. So the main character seemed to be very honest and noble, looking for peace of mind and love as well. She also likes illusions too, just like me. Taka said, yes, Rika is based off of you. I am almost finished with it. I just need one last thing to finish it. Kurenai smiled. I am sure you will find the inspiration soon, Taka-kun. The music began to play and Taka said, would you like to dance? Kurenai smiled. Yes. Then the gentle assassin took her and gingerly and led her to the polished dance floor. I will always be with you from All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 plays. Don't own. The two danced across the floor, holding each other close. Kurenai lie. Her head on Taka's shoulder. Kurenai is 5'6" while Taka is 5'9". In turn, the assassin held her close in his strong arms, feeling her body mesh and rub into his. Then they both looked into each other's eyes, searching for what they both wanted, something that they both needed. They began to move closer and closer until their mouths met, kissing each other. Kurenai grasped at his shoulders, forcing Taka to kiss her deeper and Taka complied, making her moan sensually. After 4 minutes, they broke away, gasping for air. Wow, that's perfect, Taka breathed out. Kurenai said, that, I agree with you there. The assassin replied, wanna go home? Kurenai grabbed his shirt, pulling her closer and said, no, not yet. I am not finished. Taka smirked and they began kissing again. Anko, the snake princess, looked at the clock after sitting around, doing nothing. The clock flashed 9:36. Where the hell are they? They were supposed to be back since 9. Well, unless they are doing a quickie. Then the door opened to reveal a glowing Kurenai and a satisfied Taka. Anko said, you just had a quickie, didn't you? Anko said, really? She grabbed Taka and kissed him. Taka thought, okay, Kurenai's style is aggressive in contrast to her personality, so Anko would be the type that likes it soft and sensual. He immediately changed up his style quickly, making Anko moan into the kiss. When they broke apart and Anko said with a blush, you are right, he is a good kisser. Kurenai frowned. Next time, ask permission to do that. The snake mistress said, hey, he still has not chosen who to be with. Taka said, I will tell you when I finish my date with Hinata after the exams. 3 weeks later, Taka, Hinata and Shino devoted themselves to team and individual training. Taka worked on extended battling since he was not suited for prolonged battles. Shino worked on his taijutsu, which was severely lacking, and he knew that he got lucky with the rain genin, and Hinata worked on her long-range fighting with the enlisted help of Haku. The team went to the building, noticed the genjutsu and passed by the genin discreetly into the correct room. Soon Team 10 and Team 7 came into the room where they met a shady character named Kabuto Yakushi. Taka got a bad vibe from him and planned to follow him later. After Ibiki Morino gave them the first test and passed 26 teams including the Rookie 9, Enko made an expression by crashing into a window with a banner and led them to the forest of death. When she was finished explaining the rules to the genin and gave them the death waiver forms, she let them have a 30-minute break. Taka was walking around until he felt a familiar presence. It's been too long. Xavier, Omake Kurenai won't say that she's in love. Kurenai, if there is a prize for rotten judgment, I guess that I've already won that. No man is worth the aggravation. That's ancient history, been there, done that. Enko, Yugao, Hana, Stellar, Hinata, who do you think you're kidding? He is the earth and heaven to ya. Try to keep it hidden. Honey, we can see right through you. Kurenai, oh, no. Enko, Yugao, Hana, Stellar, Hinata, girl, you can't conceal it. We know how you feel and who you're thinking of. Kurenai, oh, no chance, no way, I won't say, no, no. Enko, Yugao, Hana, Stellar, Hinata, you swoon, you sigh, why deny it, oh. Kurenai, it's too cliché, I won't say I'm in love. Enko, Yugao, Hana, Stellar, Hinata, shudu, ooh. Kurenai, I thought my heart has learned its lesson. It feels so good when you start out. My head is screaming, get a grip, girl. Unless you are dying to cry your heart out. Enko, Yugao, Hana, Stellar, Hinata, you keep on denying who you are and how you're feeling. Baby, we are not buying, hun, we saw you hit the ceiling. Face it like a grown-up. When you are going to own up that you got it bad. Kurenai, oh, no chance, no way, I won't say, no, no. Enko, Yugao, Hana, Stellar, Hinata, give up, but give in. Check the grin, you, in love. Kurenai, this scene won't play, I won't say I'm in love. Enko, Yugao, Hana, Stellar, Hinata, you're doing flips, read our lips, you're in love. Kurenai, you're way off base, I won't say it. Get off my case, I won't say it. Enko, Yugao, Hana, Stellar, Hinata, girl, don't be proud. It's okay, you're in love. Kurenai, oh, at least out loud, I won't say I'm in love. Enko, Yugao, Hana, Stellar, Hinata, shudu, sha la la la, la. Chapter 10. Friends and Enemies. Taka versus Xavier. It's been a long time. Xavier, Taka said. Taka turned around to see Hi's old longtime friend turned hated enemy, Xavier. He was lean, with black eyes and brown skin. He wore the traditional gray assassin suit carrying 2 katanas on his back and his hidden blade on his left arm. Taka, did you miss me? How was your stay away from me? Xavier said. Taka said, apparently not enough, what are you doing here? Xavier said, now it is that a way to treat your best friend. Taka said, sorry, you have been replaced. You lost that right to have that status when you killed Arthur and Cassie. Xavier said, an eye for an eye. Taka, now I came here for a proposition for you. Taka tensed. Saving a life from death other than you getting punished was better, but you couldn't let it go. Whatever you are offering, I don't want any part of it. Quote, Xavier said, but here is the kicker, if you accept. I will have Cassandra and Arthur brought back to life. Taka's eyes widened. Cassie, Arthur, the rogue assassin said, my master, Orochimaru will do this if you pledge your undying loyalty. As soon as Orochimaru rolled off his lips, flashes of Anko in pain, the curse mark in her screams were echoing throughout Taka's mind. You, can take your offer, and shove it up your ass. Cassandra and Arthur should not be disturbed. I do miss them both, but they are both in a better place now. I will not wander in the past, I will look to the future. So my answer is no, Xavier. Taka said in conviction. Xavier sneered in contempt. Pity, if only you would have joined us. Your life would have been spared, we could have been friends. Again, this is our final goodbye. Whenever we meet again, we will be enemies and I will not hesitate to kill you. Taka said, funny we already said this in Masayoff. Very well, I will issue the same words. I will be waiting for you, Xavier. Now, be gone. The rogue assassin slipped into the shadows without a trace. Cassie, Arthur, I will avenge your deaths. The maelstrom thought. Hinata called, Taka, let's go. It is almost time. Taka walked toward her and she asked, "What were you doing?" Taka lied, "Thinking about this exam, we should locate a team and ambush them." Hinata said, "We were thinking of the same thing." Taka said, "Then I suggest Kabuto's team. Something is off about him." Hinata said, "How?" Taka explained, "When I was part of the Brotherhood, my senses and intuition always go off when someone is a spy or an effective liar. When Kabuto was talking, a certain vibe warned me that he is hiding something." Hinata said, "So you want us to find them for questioning their motives?" Taka said, "Correct, we will tell Shino of our plan. First, we get our scrolls and then we locate Kabuto and his team." Hinata said, "But, we don't know where he is." Taka said, "I do, when we helped him up after he was assaulting by those Odo ninja. I placed a seal on him that sends out a chakra pulse every 5 minutes. Your Byakugan should be able to locate him. Now let's go." Forest of Death. Taka, Hinata and Shino went through gate 69. Haha, 69. Anyway, they went through gate 69 and watched an unsuspected Konoha team. Hinata said, "They have the Heaven Scroll, Taka-kun." Taka said, "Good, now to do this discreetly." Shino said, "On it." He began to communicate with the monstrous leeches and one of them was able to latch on one of their backs. Then a horde dropped from the canopy and on top of them, making them unable to move due to the paralysis administered to them by the leeches. Taka searched through them and found the Heaven Scroll. Got it. Shino took it from him and Taka said, "Now we find Kabuto and his team." Shino said, "Are we going to take them out?" Taka said, "It depends. If you can't subdue his teammates, kill them. Kabuto can be dead or alive, but his teammates may know something about his motives." Shino nodded and Taka moved to the trees with Hinata on his right and Shino on his left. Meanwhile, Kabuto finished dispatching a Konoha team and got their scrolls. Now that this bothersome requirement is out of the way, we better go to the tower and then I will observe Sasuke-kun's team. Suddenly Kunai shot out towards them and Kabuto, Yoroi and Masumi moved away from the projectiles. They landed a few feet away to see teammate in front of them. "My, Taka, Hinata, Shino, what is this?" Kabuto asked with a smile. Taka said, "Kabuto, drop the charade. I know that you are wearing a mask." Kabuto said, "What do you mean?" Taka said, "The fact that my former friend Xavier just paid me a visit and you showing up when I have never seen you in the village before, it can't be a coincidence. Anyway, does Orochimaru ring any bells?" The two teammates flinched at the mention of him and Taka said, "I will take your silence and the flinching as a yes, which means you three are traitors." Kabuto said, "It seems that we have been figured out. Unfortunately, I can't let either of you live after that. Orochimaru-sama will be so pleased that he can experiment with the Byakugan." Why? Oroi took on Shino while Hinata took on Masumi. Kabuto and Taka faced off against each other. "Well, it seems that you are such an enigma, Taka-kun, or should I say, Naruto-kun." Kabuto said. Taka said, "I thought as much that Xavier told me my true name." Kabuto said, "Yes, he told me some interesting things about your secret relationship with Cassandra and your brotherly love for Arthur. Have you decided to join us?" Taka said, "No, from what I hear, your master tends to dispose of people who have served their purpose to him once they have sworn loyalty to him." Kabuto said, "Such a waste. Oh, well, gives me an opportunity to explore that body of yours." Taka said, "Sorry, I am straight, Kabuto. Too bad Orochimaru got a new buddy to play with." Taka smirked, "So you are gay?" Kabuto said, "Fuck you." Taka said, "I am sure Orochimaru will take that job. Hell, you guys love cosplay, the boss and his secretary." Kabuto said, "Chikura no Mesu." Taka drew his scimitar, "Let's dance, homo." Shino and Yoroi, "You picked a bad opponent, boy." Yoroi said. Shino said, "Are you sure about that?" Yoroi flipped through hand signs, Chakra Kyuan no Jutsu. Yoroi moved to grab Shino and suddenly Shino burst into bugs, which crawled over Yoroi. Shino appeared behind a tree. "My name is Shino Aburame. You were a bad opponent for me. You can absorb chakra into your system, but since you are human, you have a limit, but Kikaichu don't have any limits at all. This is the end for you." Hinata and Masumi said, "You are going to die, little girl, but before that I might have us." E for you. He unconsciously licked his lips and Hinata said, you know, the last time a person told me that, ending up dead with his brain turned to mush. Masumi said, Orochimaru-sama will be most interesting in learning about your Byakugan. Hinata said, sorry, I don't plan on being an experiment. I plan on passing this exam, becoming a Chunin, then a Jonin, then retiring with Taka-kun with some children. Masumi said as he launched kunai at her, then I am sorry, because that is not going to happen ever. Hinata said, Kaden, she spun, blocking the kunai and launched them back at Masumi. He avoided the strikes and Hinata appeared behind him, you. Hinata smiled, Hake, Hasanjaki. Hinata sent a wave of chakra at point-blank range, mutilating Masumi fatally. Hinata said, I let you get me, this is reserved for Taka-kun. Taka and Kabuto was panting in exertion and Taka was still coming strong with his scimitar. Come on, Homo, I thought you were going to kill me. So you reported how you were a good boy and Orochimaru can fuck you in the ass like a submissive bitch. Kabuto said, shut the fuck up, Orochimaru-sama is stronger than you think. Kabuto was driven over the edge and his killing intent rose up. Taka smirked at this as Kabuto charged at him, perfect, you are angry. Taka moved to the side to avoid Kabuto's swipe and used his hidden blade to stab Kabuto's arm. Piercing the elbow joint, Kabuto roared in pain, but then Taka simply cut off Kabuto's legs with the scimitar. And when you are angry, you tend to get sloppy, now talk. Why is Orochimaru here? Kabuto said, he is here for Sasuke, he is the key to his plans to rule this world. Taka demanded, what plans? What is Sasuke to him? Kabuto said, he is his. It was too late, Kabuto died from the blood loss and Taka sighed, damn, I thought I would have more time. Suddenly Hinata and Shino came up to him as Taka sealed Kabuto's head. So, how was your fights? Hinata and Shino said, boring, Shino said. He didn't even put up a challenge, he charged in and he knew that I was an Aburame judging by my outfit. Hinata said, he didn't take in the fact that I was fast. Taka said, me, I just insulted Orochimaru and he went ballistic on me. Anyway we better get to the tower, we got the scroll we need. Let's get out of here before anyone else should come over here. The Re leapt through the trees and moved toward the tower. They encountered abnormally large tigers, but they were drained by Shino. They reached the tower as Gaara's team reached the entrance. Hello, you must be Sabaku no Gaara, right? Gaara looked at Taka and said, correct, who are you? Taka said, I'm Taka, my teammates are Shino and Hinata. Gaara said, mother wishes your blood for some reason. I will grant it if you face me. Taka said, oh, that won't happen, I am hard to kill. Taka said, who are your teammates? One was a blonde female with 4 pigtails in the back of her head and the other had a cat-like suit with purple markings and a strange bandage on his back. The blonde said, I'm Tamari and this is my brother, Konkuro. Taka said, it is nice to meet you all. I hope we can face each other in combat during this test. Well, Yane. Taka along with Shino and Hinata moved to one of the halls and Shino said, my bugs were warning me about that Gaara character, he seems dangerous. Hinata said, and what does he mean by mother? Taka said, I have an idea. Shino said, care to elaborate? Taka said, remember about my prisoner, I have a hunch that he is the same as me. Only something is wrong with his seal or maybe it is the Biju inside of him. Either way it is jacking up his mind, making him delusional and psychotic. Shino said, that would be a logical reason. The Yondaime was an excellent seal master, Suna doesn't have one, so the seal might be crude on Gaara. Taka said, makes me wonder what could have happened to me if the Yondaime was not a seal master. Anyway, I doubt anyone can defeat a Jinchuriki except another Jinchuriki or you too. You, Hinata, could be able to do it since she can seal Tenketsu and Shino, you could do it too as long as he doesn't use his demonic chakra, then your colony would be in danger. So if you guys face him, take him out hard and fast. His abilities are unknown, but we will see them in the exams. Shino and Hinata nodded, then Taka said, now let's see. If you lack heaven, seek wisdom and be prepared. If you lack earth, run in the fields, seek advantages. If you have both heaven and earth, you can succeed even the most dangerous mission. Nice riddle, Sarutobi Jii Sama. Shino said, if you are illiterate, you must study to get smart. If you are physically weak, you must train hard. When you have both, you can become unstoppable. Hinata said, let's open the scrolls. Taka handed the heaven scroll to Shino and the two boys opened the scroll to see the kanji for person. Shino said, it is a summoning scroll, drop it. Shino and Taka flung them into the corner and slid into stances in an instant. When the smoke cleared, teammate relaxed as Katetsu appeared, congratulations for passing the second phase. And you are in record time too. Have you three figured out the riddle too? All three nodded in unison and Katetsu said, great, saves me time from explaining it. By the way, nice job using Morse code to cheat in the first exam. Brilliant, Taka said, glad that you thought so. Soon teammate was escorted to their rooms and waited around for the 5 days. During that time, they spent improving their skills in chakra control by walking up on the walls using their hands and making a leaf stick to their forehead. Soon teammate found a team from Kiri came in, followed by a battered Team Guy, Team 10, Team Dosu. And finally Team 7 as the days ended. Finally all of the teams were escorted to the arena inside the tower, where their respected senseis were waiting along with the Hokage and other jonin. Enko said through the microphone, first off, for the second test, congratulations on passing. Then she thought, but I never expected that there were going to be this many still, I expected single digits. And Naruto-kun is still okay, along with his team. Uchiha worries me with that bastard's mark on his neck. She winked at Taka, who smirked a bit. Kurenai sighed in relief, quote, Taka-kun, he is alright along with Hinata-chan and Shino-san. The Hokage thought, for this many to be here and most of them are all of the Rookie 9. I better start explaining the third phase of the Chunin exam. Enko said, now, we will let Hokage-sama explain the third test. Hokage-sama, if you please. Sarutobi nodded, thank you, Enko. First, I personally congratulate you on passing the second part of this exam. Before we begin, I would like to inform you about the true reason of this exam. The genin perked up at the Hokage's words. True reason, Sakura thought, why do we have all the allied countries taking the exam together? Sarutobi asked rhetorically, to promote friendship among the countries, to raise the level of shinobi. Please don't be confused with these sugar-coated words, this exam is, Tenten thought. Sarutobi continued, as a technical war between the allied countries. All the genin except Gaara, teammate and the Kiri team were shocked. Wait, just what does that mean? Tenten said. Sarutobi mused, if we were to go back in time, the allied countries were all enemies. To preserve peace, the Chunin exam selection was born to solve the problem. Kiba shouted, why the hell we have to do that shit? Is this for deciding Chunin? Sarutobi answered, yes, that is correct, but also this exam has another side. You are risking your own lives to fight for your respected village's prestige. The ones watching the exam will be leaders and influential individuals, also each daimyo will be there to watch you fight. If you are considered weak, the country will lose clients and vice versa. It also sends a political message to other countries to show their strength. Kiba shouted, yeah, but why? Why do we have to risk our lives in battle? Sarutobi replied, the strength of the country relies on the strength of the village. In turn, the strength of the village lies within the strength of the shinobi and the strength of the shinobi is at its peak when in danger. It is to show off your own strength, which only has meaning when your life is at risk, that's why those who came before. You have fought in the Chunin exam for this dream that is meaningful. Tenten said, but, why do you say stuff about this exam being for friendship? The Hokage said, like I said, I don't want you to confuse this purpose. By losing life and establishing balance. This is the shape of friendship in the world of the shinobi. Now before we begin the third test, I will tell you one more thing, this is not just a test. This is a battle with your dreams and your country's prestige on the line. Gaara said, I don't care what if you hurry up and tell us what this life-risking battle entails. The Hokage said, hi, I'd like to now explain the third test now, BU. Chi. Then a sickly-looking Jonin interrupted, actually I would like you to allow me, Gecko Hayate, as a referee. Sarutobi said, By all means, Hayate-san. Hayate gets up from his kneeling position and turned to the genin. Hi everyone, I am Hayate, and there is, something that I would like you to do something before the third test. Taka looked at him with a smile. Hayate-san, always with the coughing fit. But it is no wonder that Yugao likes that devious mind of yours. Hayate said, it's a preliminary for the third test to decide who gets to participate in the main event. Sakura said softly, preliminaries. Quote, Shikamaru shouted, preliminaries. The hell does that mean? Sakura piped up, Sensei, I don't understand this preliminary, but why are all the people here allowed to take the next test? Hayate coughed. Simple, there is too many of you since the first and second test has been way too easy for you guys. According to the rules, we must have a preliminary and reduce the number of the participants. As Hokage-sama said, there are many guests here, so the fights will take too long. If those of you feel like quitting may do so now. Nobody moved a muscle, but Taka noticed that Sakura and Sasuke were arguing and the Uchiha had a tendency to hold the back of his neck. Sarutobi noticed this too. I thought so. Ibiki whispered, what should we do? Enko whispered, we should remove him from this exam and have the Anbu watch over him and protect him. Kakashi said, Enko, you know for a fact that he is not going to agree with that. Sarutobi said, Als, the fact still stands that he will kill everyone if we stop the exam, preferably if we remove Sasuke from this exam. Therefore we will let him compete. However, if the curse seal activates, stop him, if it means by killing him. Hayate said, so, no more retiring. Nobody moved from their positions and then the Jonin said, okay, then let's, continue the preliminaries. This preliminary will consist of one-on-one fighting. You will basically fight as if you were in a real-life confrontation. Since we have an odd number, we will conduct 11 matches and obviously the winners will proceed to the third test. Rules. There are no rules. The fight continues until one of you is dead, unconscious, or I declare the winner of the match and the object that controls your destiny is. Enko muttered in her mic, open it. A wooden panel opened up to reveal an electric scoreboard. Now let's announce who will have the extra match. Hayate said. The scoreboard flashed through names for a brief moment until it stopped on Taka's name. Taka thought, oh, well, I can use my match as a warm-up. Hayate said, now let's announce the first match. Uchiha Sasuke vs. Mishima Akito. Taka's eyes flickered to Sasuke's group, seeing that he was still in pain. Then he looked at the Kiri group. One was a tan with glasses on his face. He had bandages on his left arm and a katana at his right hip. His Ace was pale and he had black hair and eyes. The second was tall and has a large cleaver on his back. He wore a black yukata and steel geta. His hair was russet red and had green eyes. The third one wore a blue shirt and Jonin-style pants. His skin was dark and he has brown eyes. His hair was a silky black and he wrapped it in a ponytail that ended on the back of his neck, but he had a nodashi in his hand. The Odo Jonin thought, where is Kabuto and his team? There is no way that they could have been killed, unless the Taka brat took him out. Taka caught the Jonin's gaze and thought, so you are here, Orochimaru, HMPH. Considering the fact that Xavier could be here somewhere, I will let you live for now. But when the opportunity rises again, I will kill you, Orochimaru. You will pay for making Enko's life a living hell. Hayate asked, now will these two entrants please come forward? The two participants in the first fight, Uchiha Sasuke and Mishima Akito, are you ready? Akito said, yes. Sasuke said, yeah. Taka thought to himself, what does Orochimaru want with Sasuke? Hayate said, now, we will be starting the next match. Will everyone except the two participants move up to the upper level? Everyone moved upstairs, but Taka walked slowly to eavesdrop on Kakashi and Sasuke's conversation. Sasuke, don't use the Sharingan. Kakashi warned. Sasuke said, so you know. Kakashi said, if the curse seal becomes active, you might lose your life. Sasuke answered back, probably. Kakashi replied, and if that happens, I will jump in and stop the match, got it? Taka thought, as I suspected. Orochimaru has marked Sasuke with the mark he used on Anko, the cursed seal, meaning he has finally fixed the kinks out of it, but it doesn't explain why he wants Sasuke for. I need to do some reconnaissance later. Sasuke thought. Damn it, the cursed seal responds to my chakra and drains my body and takes over my mind, which means that I can only use weapons and taijutsu instead of my normal Kaden jutsu. He smirked. Now, what do I do? Taka whispered. Be careful, Sasuke. Hayate said. Now, begin. Hakurai End Chapter. Next chapter, life-risking battles. It appears that Orochimaru has marked Sasuke, but for what Taka doesn't know. Kabuto is dead, making Xavier the right hand. Man, will Taka be able to kill Orochimaru for Anko? Will he be able to kill Xavier for Cassie and Arthur? Journey to the Past. Chapter 11. Journey to the Past. The rest of the genin moved up within the stands to watch the first match of the prelims. Hiri's own Akito Mishima and Konoha's own Sasuke Uchiha. Everyone seemed excited or intrigued to watch this match. Sasuke faced off against the Kiri genin, memorizing his features. The Kiri genin was a tall figure with coal-black eyes, an angular face and shaggy, black hair covering his right eye partially. His weapons were his kunai holster as well as a kodachi and a sake gourd strapped into the sash of his kimono. Let's get this started, Akito growled out gruffly as he fingered his kodachi. The first match, Sasuke Uchiha vs. Akito Mishima. Begin. Immediately Akito disappeared from Sasuke's view and Sasuke NCED up to see Akito in the air with his kodachi drawn in a reverse grip for a downward slash. The Uchiha jumped backwards only for the Kiri ninja to keep after him. Suddenly Akito overextended his street. Raikon Sasuke struck him with a spinning roundhouse kick to the Kiri genin's temple, sending him flying across the arena. Akito righted himself after skidding across the floor and stabbed his kodak into the ground to slow himself down and looked up at his opponent with a smirk. Akito sheathed his blade and sped towards Sasuke, who drew two kunai to block his assault only for Akito ducking under his guard and spoke in a calm voice. Hiri no Ryu, Kyoka Suigetsu. Akito put the sword back into his respectful scabbard, causing delayed strikes to appear over his body, causing the Uchiha to scream in pain. HMPH, you are no fun. Is that the best you can do, Uchiha? Sasuke panted as he got up. Nonsense, I still got some things up my sleeves. Taking out 3 kunai, 2 in his hands and the last one within his mouth. The Avenger sped towards the Kiri genin before leaping into the air and throwing the kunai at Akito. Akito dodges the first 2 and moved to draw his kodachi to block the third only for Sasuke to appear in front of him and plant his fist into the boy's face. Akito staggered back as he thought, what the? But the Kiri genin didn't have time to think as he lost the IR in his lungs as Sasuke slammed his knee into his solar plexus, but the Uchiha didn't stop there. Sasuke brought his hands together to slam it onto his back and uses his knee again to slam into his nose, breaking the cartilage and gave him a kick to his chest, sending Akito to the ground. Next, Akito was standing in front of the 3 kunai and suddenly Sasuke was there in its place as he sent him up into the air with a familiar move. Sasuke glanced at Lee and Taka to give them a small nod as he pushed himself up in the air behind Akito. He is using Lee said softly as Sasuke was about to attack until he felt the cursed seal flare up, sending pain throughout his body. No, this is my fight. I will not let this thing interfere. I will not let it consume me. He thought as he used his sheer will to suppress the seal. Much to the surprise of Anko and the disguised Orochimaru. Sorry for making you wait a bit. It's a pain. I wanted to use my own techniques, but under the circumstances, I had to borrow someone else, but this is all original now. The Uchiha sent a kick to Akito, who managed to block it only to fail to see the punch coming to his face, sending him to the ground. I am not done yet, Sasuke declared as he clotheslined his stomach and then maneuvered himself to send a kick into his chest with a shout, Shishi Renden. A crack in the floor was created from the foe. RCE and Akito coughed up blood and fell unconscious, making Hayate declare Sasuke the winner. Kakashi appeared behind Sasuke, who fell to one knee, panting in exertion. Nice work, Sasuke, now let's see if we can get that thing of yours on lockdown. Wait, can I at least watch the matches first? Unfortunately, I can't risk it. That seal is very dangerous and it's making you weaker by the minute. Enough for one of Orochimaru's lackeys to kidnap you. We need to get that seal under control, and besides, Sakura will give a detailed description of them. Sasuke gritted his teeth and reluctantly nodded as Kakashi took him away. Orochimaru smirked and disappeared as well. Now for the second match. Will Shino Aburame and Zaku Abumi please come on down? Hayate said calmly as the menu board fell to their names. Zaku commented in disgust, "Who is this loser? I wanted the Uchiha." Taka glanced over at Shino, who didn't say anything, but clenched his fists tightly, turning his knuckles white. "Shino, take him down," the assassin stated, hard and fast. Shino replied as he walked down the stairs, "I intend to." While analyzing his opponent, the Aburame thought to himself, so he is one of the sound ninjas, and his arms seem to look dislocated, but it must be the main source of his ninjutsu by the way he carries himself. I will have to test this theory out, unfortunately. The second match. Zaku Abumi vs Shino Aburame. Begin. Zaku moved one of his arms as he smirked. Looks like I can move this one for now. That will be enough for you, small fry. With that, Zaku sprang towards the calm Aburame, who simply raised his forearm to block the strike and stated, "Too slow. Too stupid, Ninpo." Zankaha, quote, opening his palm, he blasted Shino with an air-pressured sound wave at point-blank range, making the Aburame fall to his side as he finally stopped rolling. "That was easy," Zaku said with an arrogant smirk, and Shino replied from behind, "You would think so, huh?" Zaku T. earned to get a palm strike to his chin and a follow-up elbow strike to send him to crash into the wall as Shino said, "Don't push that staples button just yet." Taka turned to Hinata. "Hinata, did Shino just make a joke?" Hinata giggled. "Yes, Taka, he did. Okay, just making sure." Zaku looked at Shino. "That blast should have made you unconscious, what the?" He peered closer to see that Shino's wound had small bugs crawling around within it. Next, he heard a soft, crackling sound and turned behind to see a multitude of bugs. "You have three choices. You can attack me and get your chakra. Eaten by my Kikaichu, or you can attack the Kikaichu, leaving yourself open for me to attack. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours." Zaku gritted his teeth as Shino replied, "It is always good to have an ace in the hole, don't you think?" The arrogant boy bowed his head as he spoke. "Here is my decision." He raised both arms towards Shino and the Kikaichu. "How about none of the damn above? 2 aces in the hole are better than 1, don't you think? Now take this, Zanku." Suddenly his chakra exploded from his elbows and shot off his arms like rockets. Zaku looked at them in shock. What? Shino pushed up his shades. "I anticipated that the source of your jutsu was mainly from your arms. When you attack me, it was all I need to send a few bugs to block your air tubes, causing the pressure to build until your arms blasted off like rockets." Shino suddenly appeared in front of Zaku and gave him several punches to the ribs and chest, then jumped up to launch a bicycle kick, launching Zaku in the air momentarily. Just as Zaku almost touched the ground, Shino slammed his fists into the 14-year-old's chest, embedding him in the wall. Shino crouched down and slowly rose up to turn his back. "I may not be the Uchiha, but you should never underestimate an Aburame or a Konoha ninja for that matter." He pushed up his glasses back to his nose and walked away as Zaku slumped to the floor, unconscious. Hayate stated, "Winner, Shino Aburame." The Aburame returned to his team where both Taka and Hinata acknowledged him for his win. Taka said with a hidden smirk, "Well done, Shino. Looks like you picked up an admirer in the process of your performance." Shino raised his eyebrow at that and glanced over to where Taka indicated to see over at Asuma's team at Ino, who had a light blush on her face and glancing at Shino. Shino softly smiled under the cover of his high collar. He was acknowledged, proved his worth as a ninja, got some respect as well as possibly a chance for a date with a cute girl. Now if he could only get laid much like Taka. Okay, now I know you guys are bored as hell, so we are just going to skip over the canon fights, but Hinata wins her fight. Taka and the other remaining combatants stood in front of the Hokage, who had them take a number out. Looking over the numbers, they looked over the standings of each round. Round 1. Taka vs Hinata Hyuga. Round 2. Sasuke Uchiha vs Gaara Sabaku. Round 3. Konkuro Sabaku vs Shino Aburame. Round 4. Shikamaru Nara vs Tamari Sabaku and winner of Round 4 fights Dosu Kinuda. Hiruzen replied, "Now that you know who you are fighting against, we will return to the stadium in a month's time." Hinata inquired curiously, "Why would we need a month to prepare? Why can't we just finish the fights here and now?" "Simple. You need new materials, new skills to show off at your fights for the daimyos and other prominent figures. Besides, you all are tired from the trials that you have done for the past few days. Therefore it would help you genin in the long run. Now you are dismissed." Hinata looked at Taka and strode to him. "The Hyuga compound, 6 p.m. Don't be late, Hawkeye." Taka smirked under his mask and nodded slowly to her in amazement. Later, Taka was walking out of the stadium to stop and turn to his left to see Xavier leaning against the wall. "What do you want now, Xavier?" Xavier smirked. "I took the liberty of telling Orochimaru of what you did to Kabuto. He was not happy at all about you killing the poor doctor now. Well, if you actually killed him." The assassin narrowed his eyes as Xavier inspected the dirt under his nails. Amazing wonders of being a ninja, being able to cheat death. "I see you and I still think the same thing. We were the best partners in the great castle of Masyaf." Quote, Taka nodded solemnly. "Yes, we were, but you have changed for the worse, Xavier, in that, my old friend, I am sorely disappointed in you and I can't forgive why. Owe you for all of those innocents that you slaughtered for your own ambitions, including Cassandra and my young friend." Xavier smirked. "I would love to see you try, my old friend. Remember, I was always stronger than you." Taka replied as he walked away. "Time waits for no man and I have improved since the last time we crossed paths." With that, he left the area and went over to the Hokage, who was working on his paperwork. Sarutobi looked up briefly. "Ah, Taka-san, what are you here for?" "Yes, Hokage-sama, I would like to inform you of the infiltration that your village has suffered. A man Med Kabuto Yakushi is in league with a man named Orochimaru. How reliable are your sources? Considering my team encountered Kabuto and his team, who are posing as Konoha members during the exam. There was also the fact that someone from my past has contacted and employed himself under the employment of Orochimaru." "I see, so your acquaintance is in cahoots with my former student, damn. I never would have figured that he would show up now after so many years. Thank you for this information, Taka, I will deal with this accordingly." Taka nodded and turned to leave, but Sarutobi called out, "Taka. For this month's training for the exams, I have taken the liberty of setting up a teacher for you. You will meet him down by the hot springs whenever you are ready. Also Kakashi would like to speak with you in the courtyard." "Thank you, Hokage-sama." With that, he bowed and left the office as he thought back to the days when Xavier and himself were the best of friends. Flashback Masyaf Naruto, age 6. Naruto grunted as he fell to the floor as he faced his opponent. "On your feet, Naruto, you will never become an assassin at this rate if you keep having your back on the ground." The Jinchuriki got up and moved into his stance to lunge at his opponent, who redirected the thrust to the side and tripped the small boy. "Enough," a voice called out. The assassins looked over to see Altair coming down the stairs. "We want to train the boy, not humiliate him. A boss sneered in disgust. "This Ajanib is incompetent, and you brought us a fool to this assassin order, Altair. That is your opinion, a boss, but I believe in this boy and he will become a great assassin with the proper teaching." Altair replied coolly, "Remember, I am the mentor here, a boss, you are." Dismissed. A boss leaves, but not before giving the dirty Naruto a glare, and Naruto got up, dusting himself off. "Are you all right, Naruto?" "I am fine. I just wish that a boss would stop being so mad at me. I have done nothing to the man. I am afraid it is my fault, Naruto. He still hasn't let go of his hatred because of his father's death, and I am the outlet he seeks. By establishing you as my protege under my wing, you are suffering." Quote, Naruto looked at Altair, "But he is right. I will never become a great assassin. You were talented." Altair chuckled a bit. "Naruto, I was born into this life. You still have time to perfect your skills as an assassin. It took me years to perfect my skills, and the same will happen to you." The Jinchuriki grinned. "Thank you, Master Altair." Altair nodded with a small smile. "Come, I would like to introduce you to a new method of training." Walking with him, Naruto and Altair reached to see a bunch of trainees practicing with wooden swords. Xavier, see, own forward, Altair called, and a boy that was slightly older than him with a pale complexion and sea-green eyes appeared before them. Xavier, this is Naruto, your new partner. You two will fight together. Study together and eat together until you both are inducted into the order, understood? Xavier and Naruto both replied, yes, mentor. Altair nodded and left the two boys by themselves, and Xavier looked at Naruto. It must be nice to have the mentor's attention, Naruto. The Jinchuriki replied, not really. Everyone in here treats me like an outcast because I am just different and a boss. Loves to torture me because I am an outsider and Altair's so-called protege. Xavier smiled. Well, then, we will just have to prove everyone wrong. Flashback ends. Naruto opened his eyes to find himself in his apartment and looked in the mirror as he took off his attire to take a shower. Xavier, what happened between us? He asked himself as he stepped into the cold water cascading down his slightly scarred body. He thought back to when it started, the downfall of their friendship. Flashback Naruto, age 11. Clang, swords were clashing together as an unknown force besieged the city of Acre. Naruto was battling his way through the soldiers as he protected Cassandra. Come on, Cassandra, we need to move now. Naruto shouted as he stabbed another soldier with his hidden blade. Cassandra cried out, okay. She followed him towards the gate as Naruto protected her from harm. Just what the hell is going on here? The young assassin thought out loud as he led his love through the streets. I believe I have the answer to that. Brother, a familiar voice said out loud. Xavier, you have returned. What is happening? What do you know? Naruto questioned as he whirled around to face his partner at a distance. The Jinchuriki stared at him calmly and saw that he wore the same attire as he did before, but the most glaring difference was the blood-red cross etched on the front of his robes. Xavier, are you trying to say? Yes, brother, I did this. All of this, I have found new enlightenment and I have been searching for you to extend this invitation, to join me. Naruto stared at him incredulously. You sieged an entire city, a city that you and I swore to protect, and you want me to join us. What is the cause of all those slaughter, this loss of needless life? Xavier smiled. So is that a no? Yes, Xavier, it is. With that, Naruto tossed out his throwing knives, which lodged into the throats of his friend's followers. The Jinchuriki fought against Xavier's followers and killed them in succession one by one until a scream snapped him out of his daze to see Xavier slicing Cassandra with a small knife. Naruto shouted, Cassandra. He ran to her and held her in his arms. Cassandra, stay with me. I will get you to a doctor. And Cassandra said nothing, but looked into his eyes and touched his cheek, stopping Naruto's rambling in his tracks. Cassandra, Naruto, there is no need for a doctor. I am going to be all right. But I have lived my life the best that I could, and I am glad that you have come into my life. I will never forget you, my love. Cassandra, remember, don't look back on the past, look forward to the future, and nothing is true, but everything is permitted. Follow the creed and its tenets, you will find love and happiness soon, Cassandra said as she coughed up blood before breathing her last and her chest stilled. Naruto held her in her arms for a few moments and looked up with his eyes slowly bleeding over to red, cat-like eyes. Xavier, he roared out in pain and came after the rogue assassin as he drew his short blade. Templars came after him and Naruto ducked under a slash before ripping out his throat with his bare hand. Next, Naruto cartwheeled over another sword slash aimed at his legs and drove the short blade into the Templar's neck. Naruto arched his back as he felt the sword slice in his back, but he retaliated with slamming his knee into the Templar's stomach, causing the man to double over, and the Jinchuriki brutally twisted his neck calmly. The Templars moved back and Naruto whispered darkly, "No, there is no escape for you. Any of you." With that, Naruto went berserk, killing Templars brutally and efficiently, following Xavier's trail, and he found him indeed with another person that he recognized. Arthur, Naruto whispered as his eyes turned back to his regular blue. No, not him. Xavier, don't do this. The assassin pleaded with his former friend, and Xavier let out a breaking laugh while Arthur struggled. Naruto, help me. Quote, surrender. Naruto, Xavier replied, surrender yourself to me and I will spare him. Naruto bowed his head and took out his weapons to cast them aside and away from his person. Okay. I did what you wanted, now let the boy go. Xavier let Arthur go and Naruto moved to take Arthur within his arms only for Arthur to gasp out and slump forward. Naruto looked at Arthur, who had a knife into the small child's back, and the Jinchuriki went into shock. Arthur, no, why? Xavier, why? Would you do this? Why would you do this? Why would you kill them? Xavier looked at him. To get rid of your sentimentality and attachments, Naruto, they have weakened you. You have become as weak as your mentor, Altair, and I will make sure that you become a true assassin. Now I will let you think about it, and well, you know the means to seek me out to join me. With that, Xavier disappeared in the smoke while Naruto cried out in anguish. Flashback ends. Taka opened his eyes as his heart hardened with resolve. Xavier, I will make sure that you pay for what you have done to our family, and most especially, Cassandra and Arthur. Soon he went over to the cafe where he was meeting the ladies and sat in front of them. Ladies, I have been thinking over this. I can't choose between the three of you. I love you all because of your unique qualities, Taka began to say as he turned to each of the women. Starting with Anko. Anko, I saw a bit of myself in you when we first met. Despite your sadism and slight blood fetish, you are compassionate, beautiful, strong and intelligent. Next, he looked at Hinata. Hinata, you were immediately accepting of my status as a Jinchuriki within our age group. Your taijutsu is extraordinary and you have grown into a confident woman. I was intrigued by your timid mask. You have a kind heart and a strong spirit. Lastly, he turned toward Kurenai. Lastly, Kurenai, out of the three, you remind me the most of my former lover. Despite the comparison and how we started off, we have been through a lot, all of us, which is why I have applied for the Clan Restoration Act. Hinata seemed surprised, but how? You don't have a clan at all though. No, I do. I am from the Uzumaki clan, who are distant relatives of the Senju clan. They were known for their sealing methods and longevity as well as their red hair. My hair is a slight mix between my parents. But it looks like my father's is more dominant. The Hyuga replied, then how come we haven't heard of them? Enko answered, it has been years since the Uzumaki clan have been in existence. You see, the Shodai married an Uzumaki and the swirl on every shinobi merchandise is their clan symbol in honor of their last stand against several villages. They were very versatile in Fuinjutsu as well as manifesting their chakra to become weapons. Taka took over. That is not all. I also developed an eye ability with the help from the Kyuubi no Yoko, a mix of my Uzumaki chakra as well as his Yuki. What is this ability? Kurenai asked curiously. In the honor of my sensei. I call it the Eagle Eye, the Washigan. It allows me to discern my target, friends and enemies. Useful if they are in a henge or covering genjutsu. Kurenai spoke up again. Are you sure that you can trust the Biju? It is a mutual partnership. He gives me the ability. I will use it to fight and protect myself as well as others in extension. Enko turned to Naruto. This is great. Kurenai and Hinata both nodded in agreement just as the Hyuga stated. This will work out a lot, plus if here is a rare chance of my bloodline with your own dujutsu combining. The elders will most definitely approve of the marriage. Taka smiled. Excellent. Now the hard part, actually surviving to get there. Orochimaru will be invading most likely during Sasuke's match against Gaara. Since Gaara is the Jinchuriki of the Aikibi and we wouldn't expect Suna to attack us because we are allies, due to the history of the Snake Sennin. He will aim for Hokage-sama to kill our morale and satisfy his personal vendetta. Anko asked in surprise, how do you know that? That information is classified to only Jonin and Chunin. 1. Sasuke has the same mark as yours, indicating Orochimaru is involved. 2. My old friend, Xavier told me about this as well as discovering that Kabuto was a spy and his right-hand man. I took him out. But he seems to escape death somehow, and lastly, 3. It is what I would do. Hinata nodded. I will notify Shino about this. Now I hope you are well prepared. Taka, I won't go easy on you. I would be insulted if you did, my pale-eyed princess. Taka replied with a smirk. Just don't be upset with me when I win. Hinata returned the smirk. That is my line. I bet it is. See you at 6 p.m., princess. Taka said with a smirk as he returned home to prepare for his upcoming date. The end. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.